I don't know. I'm spitballing here.
I go
Maybe they win by 3.
The Birds win.
You should be able to hear Tone.
I don't have anybody.
You don't have the station?
I have the station. I don't have
20
so
to
that
14,
means
the Birds
you have
win.
something.
Stay tuned for
Tony, can you hear me fine?
Tony Bruno. He's live at Tony.
I only hear myself,
getting
and I
ready
hear
for
the
Eagles
station.
football.
That's all I hear.
Thanks for making Sunday part of your locker room. I mean, the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with a Schweiner. Let's go, Birds!
I seriously can't hear anything.
There are a lot of places in town to buy a car, SUV, or motorcycle. Why should you buy from Goodwill's quality used cars? They have built a 30-year solid reputation with honesty and integrity.
I'm Carmichael Canato, Vice President of Goodwill's Quality Used Cars in Glassboro, New Jersey. Some ask how we've been in business for 30 years. It's easy: service and price.
Goodwill's, 8 North Delsey Drive in Glassboro. Visit goodwillsonline.com.
What's going on?
Guys, it's Ryan from the Sports Bash. It's the most wonderful time of year. No, we're not talking the holiday season. We're talking
beautiful.
all of the action
Hunter,
in the
can you
world
hear
of
me?
sports. Baseball's
I can hear
winding
everyone.
down. Football's
Okay.
kicking into high
Luigi?
gear. Does it get any better?
Luigi says
it
he
sure
can't
can
hear
with
us.
the DraftKings Sportsbook, and you can get in on all the
I'm
action
good.
on America's top-rated sportsbook app. This week only, DraftKings is running a special NFL insurance promo. You can bet on a team to win, and if they score at least 24 points, your bet is safe. DraftKings will credit back your wager if your team goes on to lose and they score at least 24 points. Just head to DraftKings.com/WENJ for a limited time. All new and existing users can get a deposit bonus up to $500. Plus, new users who sign up at DraftKings.com/WENJ will get a risk-free bet up to $200. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older to play. New Jersey only. Deposit bonus up to $50 instantly.
Stand by, Hunter. How much time until we're hot?
1
minute and 40 seconds.
Okay, did you get the text I sent you about running the snow game?
Test 1 2 2 2.
Can you hear me in that headset, Nick?
I got your text, Joe. Do you still want the clock before the cut?
Always have the clock at the top of the hour.
Okay, so clock,
That's it.
I'll go
Yeah,
right
hello?
into the
Yeah, I can hear
cut,
myself
and
now.
then you guys will be hot.
Yeah, look, Tom.
If you're a pro,
Oh, you mean when?
Do me a
when?
favor, Hunter. Do me a
When?
favor.
No, I don't care about his rushing stats. I care about like what he is
Get
against the
Colin
numbers. I saw
up
that
on the
somewhere
phone.
earlier
I'm
in
going
the week,
to
but I was
I'm going to
working on
drop
some of
him
the
into
other
the
games.
opening segment. I just don't know when.
You want to know what he did against who?
No, I just want to know his numbers. Like his numbers are not good as a favorite. The Eagles at home as favorites. Those kinds of things.
So I'm going to bring Colin Thompson in for 5-6 minutes into the first segment once we get into it.
Okay.
Not right from jump. You know what I mean? I'll set the table. So you can talk about it, anything and everything, and then I'll get Colin's going to be sitting on hold. Opening video drop's going to be from the snow game.
Tractor, you can tackle the job without wrestling the attachments.
1 2 1 2. Luigi can hear now, right?
Yep. In no time. So you can
1 2 1 2. Big E should be able to hear in the headset, correct? Very good.
And now get
30
one series for just $99 a month.
30 seconds to what, Hunter? The open?
Nothing runs like a deer.
Correct.
Run with us. Search John Deere 1 Series for
So
more.
it's the open, and then it's into the snow, or the countdown, and then into the clock, into the snow game.
Nature Valley brings that satisfying crunch that gets your family going again with real delicious honey and whole grain oats.
Is that correct?
So get out.
Sorry, I had Colin on
Nature
hold.
Valley
What's
oats
up?
and honey
So
crunchy
it's
bars.
open, countdown, it's the open, it's the clock, it's the snow game, it's Tony Hot.
Correct.
WENJ.
Colin just sitting in queue.
97.3 ESPN.
Thank you.
It's Eagles game day and time for the countdown to kickoff show. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! With Mr. Philadelphia, Tony Bruno.
All right, listen to the crowd. Yeah, they've been waiting to see this.
Live on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
Give goes to Peterson. He is stacked up for a loss.
From Tolman Joe's, 26 East Oregon Avenue in the heart of South Philly. Presented by IBEW Local 98. Powered by Martin Law and fueled by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union.
He is hit. He stumbles. He's down. And the Eagles take over.
Now, it's Eagles game day and time for the countdown to kickoff show with Tony Bruno.
I think for the first time for Philadelphia, but they give to McCoy. Big hole, and the move! McCoy through the snow! Touchdown!
Just watch LaShawn McCoy. He's going to hide in there. Now come out and hurdle Delmas, the free safety, and take it to the house for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. You are looking live. Brent? Why don't I hear Brent now? Brent Musburger, you not ready either? Hello there. Good morning. We are live.
We got something.
Yeah, that stupid one thing keeps playing over and over and over again. Okay, let me hear this. All right, now we can officially begin the show. We're live at Toll Man Joe's on a Sunday morning. It's not the heat. It's the stupidity that gets you all the time. Live at Toll Man Joe's here in South Philly, a couple of hours away and a couple of blocks away from the Eagles' big game where there's a pall over the city. The heat index, 90 degrees today. It'll go to 120 if the Eagles somehow do not find a way to beat the Detroit Lions at home. Tony Bruno here. Colin Thompson's on the phone. Luigi Curto here sitting down. Joe, the whole gang is here at Toll Man Joe's. And this is one of those weird days. Only week 3 into the season, Luigi, and now people are already wondering what happens now. If they lose this game, they got to go to Green Bay in 4 days and play on Thursday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. Can you say 1-3 and pandemonium and upheaval and tumult?
I got 5 letters for you, Tone. RELAX.
Yeah, well, that's not in this town.
No, absolutely not. No, Tone.
So anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. We got all kinds of good stuff coming up. Down here, it's free to park, so come down to Toll Man Joe's. Come on in. Get out of the heat. It's too damn hot to stand in a parking lot.
UV index already at 3, Tone.
Is it really?
It's 10 a.m. and the UV index is already at 3.
Luigi's got his new Apple phone on there, so he's got the UV index. He's got his blood pressure. He's got his relative humidity. He's got his lower body temperature, his upper body temperature.
Right. It's all about that core temperature, Tone.
And the core temperature, because that's what happens on a Sunday. It's going to be hot and sticky out there. We came in playing the snow game. Remember, it seems like just yesterday, that game. Yeah. One of my favorite football games of all time. Eagles and Lions in the snow, Shady McCoy. Sitting at home watching that game, I was like, wow. I didn't want it to end.
No, that was back in 2015, too. You kept watching it, and you're in amazement going, how is he still able to keep his footing? Everyone else is on skates, but LaShawn McCoy looks like he was running on turf. It was amazing.
I was positioned down at the Holiday Inn for the snow game, doing a huge, big Krause coat collection on that day, and it was absolutely crazy in the streets and everything else, just getting into the stadium. Really good stuff.
That's one of those games you have to have on a DVD somewhere, because nobody's saving it to their DVRs because you changed cable companies all the time, and then you lose all that stuff. I have the Troy Aikman 11-sack game, and obviously the Super Bowl, and the Detroit Lion Eagles snow game. Those are 3 you have to have locked in somewhere in your house on a DVD or something.
How many do you have on beta, though, Tony?
That's all my other stuff. That's all my adult content's on beta.
Right.
That's where we got it all in the beginning.
Different kind of snow bunnies out there.
Exactly right. So we're live. You know who's going to join us, too. We're going to go to the Philly Godfather. We're going to go to John McMullen live at the stadium, just a few short blocks away here from Toll Man Joe's. He'll give us the latest on the injuries, the inactives, who's supposed to play, who's not going to play. Plus, we'll break down the Lions as well. And then we'll have the Philly Godfather will stop in this hour, in the first of 2 hours. We're taking it to noon here before we go to the Eagles pregame show live with Merrill Reese and the gang and the great wide receiver, a man who loves his tequila.
And his Hurst potato chips, Michael Quick.
Mike Quick and Merrill will go live at noontime. But in the meantime, here until noon, come on by. Air-conditioned, comfort inside. Don't stand in a parking lot and sweat with a bunch of shitrules. You come in here with us, Stunads.
Sweat with us in here.
You rather be outside with the shitrules or inside with the Stunads?
I got to go inside Stunads on this one, too.
Yeah, because it's cool, it's comfortable, we're not sweating. The people in the parking lot are sweating. The team will be sweating. The fans will be sweating. Everybody will be sweating once this game kicks off.
If you got the Eagles minus 5.5, you will definitely be sweating this one, Tony.
So we'll give you all the latest gambling odds. This game has changed remarkably from last Sunday when the line was posted after the Sunday night game. Each day the line has moved. The over-under's moved. We'll get to that. But let's go to our man Colin Thompson, NFL free agent, visibly shaken. And I tried to warn him last week. Everybody was, Temple's going to go up to Buffalo. They're going to lay a beat down on Buffalo after those 2 tough wins. They go up there, not only do not cover the spread, they got embarrassed. Colin, is it over for the Temple Owls? They're not even going to go to the to the Marmot Bowl this year after that performance, pal.
Well, I don't think the Marmot Bowl exists anymore, Tony, which you talked about before. But secondly, I don't even know what to say. I'm befuddled, to use a big word there. I'm blown away. I don't know what to say. It's a tough loss for the Owls, but again, it's the old adage. You know, if they lose to Maryland and beat Buffalo or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You still have conference play. The win is, you know, it's like a loss in the AFC West. It is what it is. We care about the NFC East. We move forward, kind of thing. You're talking Eagles, but a tough loss. And then we have Georgia Tech at home, then ECU, and then a tough Memphis team. So they got to get back on track and hopefully get a win against Georgia Tech at home next week at the Link when Jeff Collins, former Temple head coach, comes back to town.
Beautiful. So we got the Temple. And by the way, for all of our Michigan fans out there, including the Hombre, we would like to thank Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines for participating in this year's Big Ten pursuit to get into a major bowl.
Yeah, I think Cole stepped in and removed the khakis right from him.
Oh, man.
Right after that game.
Wow. I mean, they did come back a little bit, but that game was a thorough beatdown by the Wisconsin Badgers. But let's get to the Eagles. As a program director used to say every 10 seconds if we didn't talk about the Eagles, let's get it to the Eagles, Colin. Everybody in this town is on pins and needles. You know, after the first win, they get the win, everybody was excited. Then they had the injuries in the second week, and now all of a sudden there seems to be a game that everybody had circled as, well, they're going to win this game, and we did the ridiculous give them a win, give them a loss dog during the preseason. Now this game, all of a sudden, the line is down to 5. The Eagles started off 7.5, 8 some places. It went down. I have the breakdown. It dropped. It opened at 7 in most places. Then it dropped to 6.5 on Wednesday. Then Thursday morning it dropped to 6. Then Friday morning it dropped to 5.5 and then eventually 5. So the Eagles are now only a 5-point favorite, as a lot of money going in on the Detroit Lions. And now the question is, are the Eagles set up for a potential devastating loss at home today to drop to 1-2?
Great question. I don't see it happening, and here's why. We found out a lot about Carson Wentz last week. What's he made of? He played like a lion, no pun intended, in the second half, and just showed he's worth the max contract for quarterbacks. He showed that he's a leader. He's got receivers in that he has zero continuity with, receivers in that don't get any practice reps with him. He moves the ball down the field, keeps the Eagles in the football game, when really, offensively, in the first half, it was abysmal. So, one quick little screen away for Julio Jones going 60 yards, and Zach Ertz runs the route a little bit deeper, and the game's over. People were upset with Nelson Aguilar. I was impressed the way he bounced back. He finished with a touchdown, 8 catches, and over 100 yards. And you could say he's the 6th or 7th option behind Darren Sproles, Dallas Goedert, Ertz, D-Jack, and Alshon Jeffrey. So I don't see it happen today, and here's why. I think we're going to get a healthy dose of Carson Wentz trying to get the ball to Zach Ertz. I think they're going to clamp Zach Ertz down. That's what the Patriot way is. And obviously, Patricia, former Patriots defensive coordinator, they're going to lock down Zach Ertz, and I see big games out of the other guys. I think you see a big game out of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He was quiet last week again. We know how many practice reps he gets. We really don't know. So I think with the defense stepping up, making key plays at the right time, I don't know how they can protect Stafford. He does like to get out of the pocket, and he has a huge arm, as we all know. But I do think the Eagles spread the ball out to their guys, healthy dose of the running game. I see a breakout game from Jordan Howard. They're going to give him volume carries, and he's a volume back. So I think the Eagles just have too many weapons, even though they have some out for the game. And I do think the Eagles prevail.
That's a positive. And, you look at the numbers here, and obviously all the numbers now are stacking up against the Eagles. I mean, you look at the running game. The Eagles, this is the most incredible stat to me, Colin. The Eagles have gone 35 straight games without a 100-yard rusher. You know who their last 100-yard rusher was? Luigi, do you know who it was? 35 games. It was LeGarrette Blount, 136 yards against the Chargers on Week 4 of 2017. You know when the last time the Eagles had a home running back go for 100 yards at home here at Lincoln Financial Field? 23 straight games. Ryan Matthews, 109 against the Atlanta Falcons in 2016.
Well, you can't argue consistency there, Tone.
No, but my point is they've got to run the football, plain and simple. And I have so many more stats, Colin, on Miles Sanders versus other guys who have run for the Eagles. In fact, let me give you that one right now. Josh Adams, last year, the rookie from Notre Dame, undrafted, in his first career rushes, he has 107 yards on his first, I believe it was 21 career rushes. 107 yards. Miles Sanders, in the same number of carries, 53 total yards. So Josh Adams had twice as many yards rushing than Miles Sanders did in the same number of games played at the beginning of his career in 21 carries. That's not good.
Pretty crazy stuff. No, not good. But they also spread the ball out differently. Games haven't been, hey, let's pump the ball up the middle of the running back. But I think it needs to turn to that, especially when you lose guys on the outside like D-Jack. So, hey, they got to create a new identity. They have some injuries. They have depth. Howie's always built a great roster, so it's going to be impressive, in my opinion, today, how they use those guys. I think they're going to be used early and often. And I'm looking forward to them spreading the ball out and getting, the ball to some guys that we really don't know too well.
Colin Thompson, NFL free agent. We'll be talking to him again. Lots more coming up. Philadelphia's biggest fan is going to join us, too. John McMullen from the ballpark. In fact, we're going to go to him when we come back. Here live at Tollman Joe's, Tony Bruno, Luigi Curto, the whole gang. We got our game faces on. I need some of that war paint to put on my face. I need to smudge my face all up. I don't want to go blackface, though. Then I'll be in trouble and I can't run for president. It's Tony Bruno, the gang, live at Tollman Joe's. We're coming right back here. Eagles pregame live.
Hour number 1 of the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show is fueled
Hunter,
by
talk
Dunkin'.
to me, if you will,
After
on the
Eagles
audio.
win,
I'm
you
just,
win with Dunkin'.
Colin sounded like he was in a little bit of a can coming through. Was that his? Him or what?
ESPN. I'm not sure. It sounds like there's a speaker by you guys that's playing it out loud.
Coming up, a jam-packed Monday reaction on the Mays and Eitan show.
Nick, can you bring up my return, please?
Everything. And we'll look forward to a short week with
the return in the middle so I can talk to Hunter.
For their second game in 5.
Hunter, you there?
Mays and Eitan, 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN app.
With approved credit requires GMF financing.
More.
Nobody beats a Bennett Chevy deal, and there's no
Hunter,
better time to buy than
too loud.
during
Yeah,
Bennett
it's
Chevy's
hard to hear you over the
closeout.
spot.
And
But
because Bennett is
okay,
totally
so coming up
overstocked,
out of the
we
break,
must move 200 vehicles immediately.
I have another
Chevy and pay
Eagles audio cut, and then I have
below
the
the
music.
GM
right, then the music, and then back to us. Luigi's here, so he's obviously not at the link. John McMullen should be on hold.
Savings 25% off. That's amazing.
I need to call him.
Yeah, McMullen will be ready. He's standing by.
John's there, standing by.
He's going to call him now.
Okay.
I'm going to tell him coming out of the break, I'm going
for any
to
junk.
tease the
Imagine how much your
Lambo
nice clean trade could be worth. And
event
there's never any
tomorrow
sales pressure
at the
Bennett, so you'll always
Landmark.
get the very
Get
best
down
buying
here, we'll
experience,
register
because
two
our
people.
non-commissioned sales staff is paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. Nobody beats Bennett Chevy.
Yeah,
Nobody. Find new roads at Bennett
we'll
Chevy,
register
Egg Harbor
some
Township,
people
and
today.
BennettChevy.com.
Women of South Jersey.
Are you going right to
Regional
McMullen
Health
after this?
System wants you to take control
No,
of your
well,
health
he'll
and
be
be
there.
a woman in the know.
Yeah, I
Thursday,
mean, I just want to
October
set
3rd
the
at
table
Avalon
for
Links
tomorrow with the
Restaurant
Lambo
at
stuff,
Cape
and
May
then
Courthouse.
but
Cape
McMullen will be
Regional
there
is
when you call him.
assembling a
He's
panel
at the
of
stadium.
women's health experts to answer your questions. You'll learn about preventative care, important screenings, and what you can do now.
I only hear that coming over there, not through the board.
This is a free event, but RSVP is required.
The PA
Call
system?
609-910-2326 to register today.
It's
2
time for
minutes,
some
everybody.
straight talk. Look, you wouldn't spend more to get the exact same thing, would you?
One,
So
two.
when I tell you that Straight
E,
Talk
can you
Wireless
hear
runs
over
on
there?
the same
Are
cell
you hearing the
towers as
show?
the big guys but charges up to half the cost, you see where I'm going with this, right? Get America's best 4G LTE networks for less. The unlimited plan is just $45 a month with 25 gigs at high speeds, then 2G. Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com.
I was in the United States Army for 12 years, and if we had a stressful time, we say, hey, let's go smoke a cigarette. The further I got away from the military, being in corporate environments and it not being as prevalent, being around smokers, I would become the odd man out. The first time I actually tried to do it, I was
it's
surprised
still only
at
going
how
out over the
similar
PA
it was to a
system.
cigarette.
Chris made the switch in 2018. To make the switch, visit JUUL.com. Juul Labs compensated this individual for the time and expenses in providing this testimony. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
It's not going out over the air.
The Appreciation event is happening now at the Home
Only
Depot.
going out over the
Now,
PA.
if you're a pro, you'll save even more on the products you use most. And Pro
Play it
Extra
again,
members
Tony.
get extra savings. 25% off 5-gallon buckets of Bear Pro and PPG Ultra High Zero Paint. So stop by your local Home Depot. This week, if you're a pro, there's a lot in store for you. The Pro Appreciation event, just for pros, all week
Test,
long.
test, test,
Only at
test,
the Home
test.
Depot. More saving,
1, 2,
more
1,
doing.
2.
Offer valid through September 22nd. See store for details.
Tollman Joe's in the heart of South Philly is Tony
30
Bruno's
seconds,
home on
30
Eagle Game Day.
seconds.
And for those of you in Cape May County, Tollman Joe's in Wildwood
you
is
sound
your
a little
football
fired up
home
on
every
the,
week in September.
on the locker room
Tollman
show
Joe's,
earlier.
where wings were created.
And,
Wings
you know,
were
it's
perfected,
close to game-
and where
game
your
time.
Football Sunday is set to begin
We'll
this
hear
Sunday
a
at
drop
every
from
Eagles
Hunter,
Game Day.
the voice
Get
of the
to
fan, a
Tollman
little bit
Joe's.
later on in the show.
Join me, Tony Bruno. I'll see you
Here
on
we go,
game
baby.
day
10
at
seconds.
Tollman
Excited for
Joe's.
that. Welcome to the
10
Tony
seconds.
Bruno Show.
Game Day
Tony, I'll bring us
Countdown
back
to
with
Kickoff
the
Show.
Get
to
Tolman,
Tolman Joe's and
okay?
register
I'm gonna
for
bring us
your
back with the
authentic
live-
Tony
live
Bruno
hit,
Eagles
okay?
game jersey, presented by Martin
Stand by
Law,
for audio.
the law firm for injured workers.
Heated up. So is McCoy. And McCoy with another beautiful move. LaShawn McCoy can't be stopped. Down 26 on the run.
Well, early on, I'm talking about it doesn't lend to his style. Well, now that's the LaShawn McCoy we're accustomed to. The cutting, the slashing.
Unfortunately, it will not be snowing here in Philadelphia today.
No snow in the forecast.
Except in the parking lot at some of those really, really jacked up, what do you call them, tailgates.
Yeah.
There may be a little snow on top of a couple cars.
Might be some snow in the bathrooms, too, during the Eagles game as well.
Exactly. And that'll be during the game,
Exactly.
Meanwhile, we're live at Tolman Joe's. We got the great Joe Krause here. Joe, you excited?
Oh, super excited, Tony. Listen, get here before the game. Get here during the game. Get to
There's
Tolman
music being played
Joe's
in the
after
background,
the
if that's on
game.
you or not.
So let the great spot to be played is right here at Tolman Joe's. If you don't have tickets for the game today, that's okay. Get down to Tolman Joe's. By kickoff, this place will be wall-to-wall with Eagles green right down here in the heart of South Philadelphia. By the way, coming up at the bottom of the hour, 10:34, Philly's biggest fan who always welcomes us in to 2nd Street, Johnny Doc, will be along with us as well. That coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Beautiful.
Now, Tone, when we had the intro coming in, we had the intro for the snow game.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, that was the one bright memory in the last 4 times these teams have met, because the Eagles are actually the Detroit Lions have won the past 3 out of 4
Yes,
games.
exactly.
The last time they met 24-23 over Philadelphia in Detroit. So the one lone bright spot in the last 4 times these teams have met was that snow game.
I
Tony.
know. We needed to snow. Unfortunately, it's going to be 90 degrees here today in Philly on a Sunday late in September, on already September 22nd. And then again, of course, Eagles play. So there won't be any Eagle football next Sunday. There may not be a season next Sunday based on what happens between today and Thursday night in Green Bay if this team can at least get a win today and then hope for 2-2 or steal one. What happens if they win today and then go into Green Bay and win? Then everybody will be out there buying jerseys again and going crazy. That shows you the difference of how a game matters in this town. It matters all over the league, but not when you're a team that's supposed to win a Super Bowl. When you're a team that's supposed to win a Super Bowl, you win your opener, which you're supposed to. You rallied in that game. You almost win the Sunday night game, which a lot of people thought they wouldn't win.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that was a gimme. And it turned out to be a hell of a game near the end. And now you got the Lions and the Packers back-to-back. So what a difference one game. Today's game is huge for this team. We were talking about whether the game for the Falcons, if they go 0-2, whether their season would be shot. And let's be honest, look at their division. If they had lost that game, Atlanta, their season wouldn't be shot. It wouldn't help. But they could come back from 0-2.
Of course they can. Now, especially with Drew Brees being out for several weeks,
exactly,
that really helps them out. But the thing is with the Philadelphia Eagles is they go down in 1-2 after today's game, Tony, and possibly 1-3 with Green Bay looming on the schedule. You got to look at Dallas. Dallas got a cupcake this week against Miami. Dallas moves to 3-0. That could be an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, but
Cowboys.
It's not even about right now. You have to win games.
No, I understand
You're not
that.
going to sit back and say, "Oh, the Cowboys beat Miami again, and they're only favored by 22.5. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be 3-0.
No, I understand that.
If they're not, that'll be the biggest shocker in NFL history.
Especially the betting public, 22.5.
Exactly,
But
yes.
the thing is, though, is that if the Dallas Cowboys go up 3-0, the Eagles go right out of the chute, go 1-3. That could
no doubt
very,
about
very
it.
difficult to get out of that hole, Tony, as I'm saying.
No,
Because again,
absolutely right. And you're talking about conference games too, because
Yes.
remember, conference loss already. Today's another conference game. Thursday night's another conference game. So this is a huge game for the Eagles. I don't want to be one of these, everything's great after they win a game, they're going to win the Super Bowl, and then, oh, my God, the whole world's crashing if they lose a game. It's a big game. Everybody knows it. The team knows it. Carson Wentz knows it. So let's be honest. The pressure's on Carson Wentz today, just like it has been every day since Nick Foles left. And so if Carson Wentz doesn't do magic today with his backup players, then there'll be pressure on him. It's John McMullen. Let's go live to the stadium, ladies and gentlemen, up in the press box where the humidity level must be rising. But the first question to our Eagles insider and NFL insider, John McMullen, what is the spread today? I haven't seen any media people posting what's being served in the press box today as far as the pregame meal.
Well, before I get to the spread, which is for a 1 o'clock game, is always breakfast, and it's very good. So there should be no complaint.
Okay.
Even from Jimmy Kempski today. But the better part is the air is on, so I don't have to worry about the humidity. Exactly. We go from 8 inches of snow to 90 degrees in late September when we're playing the Detroit Lions.
The humidity may not be there, but the stupidity is always looming, as Tony always says in this weather.
Especially in the parking lots. We have to send somebody in the parking lots today to see if any former athlete is roaming around with the wrong jersey on. We don't want another confrontation today. We got enough problems to worry about.
I think I saw Reno Mahe out there schlepping around.
All the Sixers are safe. I can report that.
Exactly, yes. Until they start playing, and then you know how it works around here, John. All right, John, obviously we have a lot at stake here. You're going to give us the final injury reports at the end of the day, but we know Deshaun Jackson's not going to play, and we know Alshon Jeffrey. What about Dallas Goedert? Has he been out there on the field? Because he's one of those guys that they're saying he might or might not play. Do you know the status of Dallas Goedert right now?
Yeah, Dallas was just out there working out, had a wrap on his left calf, which is the problematic one. In front of Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman, they were paying very, very close attention to how he went through. Kyle Lauletta was throwing him the football, the practice squad quarterback, testing, blocking, and having people lean on him, which is probably the bigger issue when you're talking about the calf. So he just walked in. He looked okay, but this team is going to be very, very cautious. Remember, we got a short time span here between today and Thursday when you got to go to Green Bay. So the last thing you want to do with Dallas Goedert, Alshon Jeffrey as well, is turn maybe a week, 2-week injury into one that goes a month, 6 weeks. So I think that's the biggest concern. Alshon hasn't been out here yet, so I think he remains very doubtful.
John McMullen, NFL insider. And, of course, the other story, John, is the running game and the offensive line. Isaac Seumalo, you want to talk about the binoculars being on him and everybody watching because he was awful. He admitted it during the week. They've got to run the football. You and I have been talking about this for every single show that we've been on now for the last 3 weeks. Isaac Seumalo, and people talked about Stefan Wisniewski, they had to cut him. He had some of his struggles, but he wasn't as bad at the guard position, and he played center. They moved him around. Are they missing Stefan Wisniewski now?
Well, I will say Jeff Stoutland isn't. Jeff is kind of the guy, and he makes these decisions when it comes to the offensive line. And he likes athletic players. That's his deal. And that's not the strength of Stefan Wisniewski. So every time they went to Wiz, it was sort of the last resort because the other guys didn't perform. If you remember, guys, you go back to the Super Bowl season, when they benched Isaac that time, it was Chance Warmack who got the first opportunity. And only after he failed did they go to Wiz, and he kind of settled things down. So they see limitations there, and they see a bigger upside in Isaac. And to be fair, he was terrible in Atlanta. Nobody's trying to say that. But he was good in week 1, and he was playing against Grady Jarrett a heck of a lot against the Falcons. And the good news is you usually don't have to play against Grady Jarrett. So there's going to be some improvement but there's got to be significant improvement.
Exactly. I go whiz without. I mean, that's why I never have whiz.
Right. I'm more of a provolone guy.
I'm more of a provolone. Give me real. I don't want whiz on my cheese sticks.
No mozzarella. It gets a little too messy with
No, mozzarella's okay, but no whiz. I'm sorry. That's an absolute no doubt about it. So, John, last thing, and that's the defensive line, because we saw that no pressure, and then they had to send the blitzes last week against Atlanta, and, Fletcher Cox and Jernigan's out. To me, that's another. This game's all about the trenches. I mean, you don't have to be a football expert to know that. Their offensive line couldn't run block for them the first 2 weeks, and their defensive line did not put any pressure on. And Stafford, we know he's going to go deep. He's going to watch the film. They're going to be salivating to throw the ball to Kenny Golladay all day and their rookie tight end. So what's the plan now to help this defense try to slow down a pretty good Detroit offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern when you lose two of your top three defensive tackles in 2 weeks. So Malik Jackson and Tim Jernigan. And now all of a sudden Hassan Ridgeway goes from the fourth defensive tackle to a starter in week 3. So I think that's the biggest concern. But I do think people kind of overrate that sacks number, and Derek Barnett is a perfect example. He's second in the NFL in pressures right now to Myles Garrett, but Myles has 5 sacks, and he doesn't have any. So the question is, do you get too obsessed with that number? Because there are good things that can happen when you pressure the quarterback that are not necessarily sacks, whether it's just speeding up Matthew Stafford, getting him off his spot, making him inaccurate, and the best-case scenario is interceptions or turnovers that go the other way. So there are a lot of things, and that number is one everyone obsesses over, but for people in the NFL, it's sort of like wins for a starting pitcher in baseball. Yeah, they're nice, but not the most important thing.
John is always the most important thing to us here. He's our lifeline. He tells us what the food spread is, what Jimmy Kenske's thinking, and he also sees what's going on the field. That's a three-tool player in the press box.
We'd like to call it the trifecta, Tony.
He's the trifecta. There's no 5-tool players in the press box. They're only on the field. John is a 3-tool player in the press box.
The
John,
Holy Trinity.
Exactly. John, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
John McMullen at Lincoln Financial Field. Dallas Goedert out there working out, so he might play, it sounds like, Luigi.
Yeah, and they're going to need him today, Tony, with the skeleton crew they have. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey, he can go out there all he wants, but he's not playing today. He's out of there.
I totally agree. We got lots more coming up here. We'll go to Johnny Doc, Phillies' biggest fan, coming up. The Philly Godfather still this hour. And that's only the first hour as we continue countdown to kickoff. Live here from Tollman Joe's in South Philly on a humid Sunday. On Countdown to Kickoff on 97.3 ESPN and on Twitch.tv, BrunoNation Live.
You're listening to the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show, presented by
Someone said, who's doing the music? It's fantastic coming out of the breaks. That's Tom.
Hello, hello. Hey. Miss Robin has a mic. All right. How is everybody doing this morning on Twitch? Tony can see you guys. He has the Twitch channel up in front of him, and his mic is hot. So if you have comments directly, I mean, I know that you guys are chatting amongst yourselves, and he is seeing it throughout the show. He just can't always comment, especially during the show, but while he's live on air at 97.3. But during the commercials, he can say, yo, what up, yos? And we have the fabulous Eric Cohn in the house. Play Action Reel. Hello, Miss Robin. Hello from Gilbert, Arizona. How hot is it there today? Like, has it gone below 110 yet? I talked to my dad. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I think it was still up like 119, something crazy. Lemsky 13, hello from Leland, North Carolina. Play action only in the 90s today? Hey, God, it's balmy. Joe Quills, it was only 90 when I was in Vegas earlier this week. Thank God. The Blonde Wizard, Mr. Thursday Night. Yeah, Mr. Thursday Night is strong. Mr. Monday Night is strong.
Robin, your mic's on. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to everybody on Twitch.
Okay.
I just need some water. I need some water, that's all.
As soon as you guys come back, don't worry, I will lower.
You getting echo from our end? I couldn't hear it. It sounded fine.
Sounded crystal clear to me.
Yeah, I didn't hear any echo.
Okay, well,
unless the house is too loud. Is the house too loud?
Get the new unlimited plans. Total wireless, total confidence.
I don't know. Gil's on the prowl.
TotalWireless.com.
85 years ago, William Hill bet on himself.
It sounded to me like it was just
Yeah,
during the phone call, right?
Nick cuts the house when we're on a phone call.
Available to you, New Jersey. Just
like
in
right
time
now,
for
the house
football
is on,
action.
so obviously you can hear it
Now
a little bit.
By the way, we're coming back with
Download the William Hill app and get ready to prove yourself right all season long. William
I
Hill
have a
Sports Betting,
20-second
America's
clip
#1
of me
sports
talking,
book.
and
Must
then
be
it'll be
21
you.
or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions.
It'll actually be me, and then there'll be
online
music.
skills
Are you
tests,
still getting
which
feedback,
let a candidate
Hunter?
show that they're
I'm
the
talking
right
to Gil
hire.
now. It's only
We'll
with the
also
phone
have
call. It's like a
dolphin
weird
chatter
echo.
excitedly
Okay,
in
because
front of
we're
the
getting
perfect
the
candidate.
phone call into our headset.
Okay, there's
clean.
no dolphin.
In other words,
But
we can
skills
hear
tests,
John
that's for
clean.
sure.
We heard
See why independent
Colin
research by
clean. Other
Silk
than
Road
Colin
shows
sounded
Indeed
a little bit
delivers 3
tinny
times
to me,
more
but
hires
Yeah,
than any
Colin
other
was
job
better.
site.
15
Visit
seconds, by the way.
Indeed.com/promo today. and get a
Colin
free
sound better
sponsored job
than
upgrade on your
McMullen.
first
McMullen
posting.
sound awful.
Terms, conditions,
yeah, it was
and
terrible.
exclusions
I have
apply.
Johnny
You're
Doc
listening
coming up.
to the
I don't want
Eagles
to shit on
Game
his
Day
call
Countdown
again.
to Kickoff show.
We had a
Get
police
to
issue.
Hold and register for
Is he
your
on hold?
authentic Tony
playing
Bruno
me and then
Eagles
music.
Game
Is
jersey.
John on hold?
Presented
Yes,
by
he says he
Martin
is.
Law, the law firm for injured workers.
I've been hearing it all week long. So many
This is
Eagles
Hunter,
fans
Tony,
are
in his
a little
rant.
nervous heading
Hunter,
into
our
Sunday
producer,
afternoon's
Hunter
game
Broad's
against the
on
Lions,
YouTube
but I'm here to
every
tell
day
you
on
that it will
97.5
be
The
okay.
Fanatic.
The Eagles will take care of business at home. The fans at the link are going to be so
Into music
fired
out
up.
of this.
It's going to give the Eagles enough, and the team is going to execute. The Birds will take down the Lions. I promise you that.
That's a confident fella right there.
Yes, sir. That is the voice of the fan there weighing in. Hunter Brody weighing in. All good stuff. You'll find him all week long on 97.3 ESPN.com.
Yeah, now he was fired up. I heard him earlier in the locker room. And, you know, Luigi's the exact opposite. But another guy who's fired up, Luigi's down on everything.
I'm not down on everything. I'm just relaxed.
Okay,
I'm calm.
relax.
I'm calm. Like you've been telling me my entire life. Just relax.
Just relax.
That's it.
A guy who always relaxes, but he's always ready. He is Philly's biggest fan. He's got to be really – we just heard some Quaker City string band. So you know he's ready. It's Sunday. We're in Philly. We're right here right at Front Street, although every place is 2nd Street down here, as the great Philly's biggest fan, Johnny Doherty, joins us now. John, how are you this morning, pal?
Good, guys. 2nd Street all the way. I love it.
All right, are you feeling a little antsy like some of the fans today because they know that they really have to win this game because then they got to go to Green Bay and possibility of being 1-3 if they don't find a way to win today and then have to go into Green Bay, a tough place to play?
Nah, they're going to win today. You know, as much as that guy's a downer, I'm always up. I'll tell you, of course it's a can't-lose game. You know, I think they come out. I think they play well. You know, the kids will have big games. You, Zach Ertz. I think I don't think it's a low-scoring game. But last week I thought we were going to shut them out. Second play of the game? They scored against us. But so I'm good. I feel good about today. I feel real good about it.
Now, John, you know, the weather, it's warm out there. Everybody's talking about that snow game. I'm sure you remember it like it was yesterday, too. But that was 2015. It's hard to believe. That's 4 years ago.
I'll tell you what, I was at that game. That was a great game. What was even wilder, my dad had a couple of beers. I think he fell 7 times between the stadium and the car.
You know, that happens here. I mean, that just happens.
He was 80 at the time, and he bounced right back up.
But did he stick the landing?
Yeah, Yeah, he hit the landing. In fact, my dad, I tell you how crazy Philly fans are. My nephew got married yesterday. Everybody was out till 4 in the morning. So before they did anything, they all are down tailgating. They took the 2 buses from the wedding and went down the tailgate early this morning. That's the best of Philly. When you can get married all night and the rest of the people at the event stay up and just go right down for the Eagles-Lions game.
It's like New Year's Eve. That's what they do every New Year's Eve, John. They don't even go to bed. They just stay up on New Year's Eve and then go right to the parade.
Yeah, we lived at 2nd and Jackson our whole life, and then we moved to 4th and Jackson. And, of course, everything I did was Our Lady of Mount Carmel, St. Joe Prep, and EOM. So that's where I grew up. That's where I live. Every single, not only New Year's Eve, but the night before, people would be at my mom's house. Even when they were married, they would still come back. They would spray their sneakers. They would leave them there to wear in a parade. Nobody would go to bed. And my mom and dad would cook probably 20 dozen pounds of bacon, but then everybody would go right from there. It's just a different world. And I'm glad that you guys have brought your world down to that world.
Exactly. Well, I've always been in this world. I mean, I grew up down here, too.
I know, yeah.
South Philly for life. And so I understand it's like when I lived in Alabama for a couple of years, on Saturday mornings, you wake up and you feel football. Here, when the Eagles play at home, you can feel it, too. It's one of those cities where you feel the NFL. College towns, you have that different feeling. But today, although, I'm telling you, John, I think they're going to win, too. But I think the fan base here is ready to be disappointed more than they are ready to be excited about a win. And I'm getting that sense. A lot of people are like, are they going to lose? Oh, my, what are we going to do? You watch. So if Carson gets off to another slow start, I guarantee you there'll be boos at the stadium today. There'll be plenty of boos outside the stadium, but inside the stadium there'll be plenty of boos if he gets off to a slow start.
How about we said it last week, and I think the same thing goes this week. We got a great offensive line. We invested in Howard. You got 2 or 3 really quick backs for the first time. Sanders looks really quick. I would just pound Howard all day, and then occasionally let Sanders run around the end or do something where I'm crazy. Just pound the ball.
Yep.
Just keep pounding them. It's 90 degrees out, like you said. They're coming here at Detroit. I mean, Stafford's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's better in the dome than he is outside. Okay, they got the one receiver. I don't see. Even banged up, I think this is a game that there could be a little separation between us.
Yeah, but John, as history showed this so far this season, they've been reluctant to pound Howard. And Miles Sanders, everything he wants to do is bounce it to the outside. He looks every bit of a college running back. He's yet to hit the hole once. Everything he takes, he wants to bounce to the outside, which doesn't exactly work at this level. So I think if they're going to get Miles Sanders going, they got to get Miles Sanders going in the passing game, not in the running game. They got to use Howard to get between the tackles.
Yep.
And they got to use Sanders more in the passing game. That's the way I would attack this thing. But they got to commit to the run to Jordan Howard. He's a 20-plus carry back, and the only way to keep that Detroit offense off the field is by using Jordan Howard.
No doubt about it. You hit the number 20 times. Run them 20 times. And I did say use Sanders in some crazy fashion. Peterson and them guys are known for being, a little bit more creative with their offensive setup. So they know what they're doing,
I agree. Doug Peterson said it during the week, John. He said, I got to come up with some magical plays. Just come up with some good plays in the first 15. Go down there when you get the ball and score. And that'll calm a lot of things. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but at least you're the whole team and the whole fan base will get that feeling of, hey, look, now they actually moved down the field and they didn't go 3 and out or get a first down and have to punt. They moved the ball down. They got a score. They're on the board. Now let's take it from there.
And running the ball, Tony, settles everyone down.
Exactly.
It takes a little pressure off the receivers. It backs off the corners. Everything gets a little easier and opens up when the running game is more established. And it takes a lot of heat off of these younger guys who are asked to do a lot in the absence of the injuries.
Exactly. We got it all figured out, John. I mean, you figured it out. I figured it out. Luigi's figured it out. Joe Krause has figured it out. I mean,
what are we talking about again?
I think this is being pumped into the locker room right now, and I think Doug's listening in, and he now knows the formula to go out there and win this game.
I just wait to hear what Luigi has to say. He's the guy I follow. Whatever he says, I follow. He tells me, hey, keep Sanders in the passing game. That's it. I changed my thought process. No, not around the end with Sanders at all. It's in the passing game.
And the reason why he's the number one fan is because he's the number one listener. That's the reason why he listens.
John does listen.
Did you guys see the Notre Dame-Georgia game, did you see the interception by the Reed kid at the end of the game against Notre Dame? He covered 20 yards faster than I've ever seen. And his father was the receiver from Buffalo. Man, it would be nice to have a couple D-backs that were that fast, cutting across the center of the field for us. I've never seen a kid run 10 yards, 20 yards faster to get an interception. That's what we need, man.
And I give Notre Dame credit. They played tough last night. Everybody thought they were going to get blown out. They made it a game. It was a good game in Georgia, which is a tough place to play. But I agree with you. And the bottom line is Jalen Ramsey is still in play. And everywhere I look, I'm seeing that the Eagles are right there. And if they're able to get him in a trade, because he's going to be traded, then I think everybody will feel a lot better about the defensive secondary on this team, without a question.
Yeah, I saw today where they said Jacksonville said they're not trading him, so he gets moved by Monday or Tuesday.
Exactly, right.
The prep plays LaSalle this week. That's a big Catholic League game.
Oh.
And then you got a good Friday night game. I'm a little nervous in Maryland. I'm a gigantic Penn State fan, too. I'm a little nervous at a Friday night going down to Maryland,
But how about Pitt running the Philly special, call it the Pitt special, and beat that powerhouse in Central Florida and finally ended their winning streak. So there will be no national championship, not even a fake national championship for our friends down there in Florida.
I'm not a big Michigan fan. How about them getting exposed again? Ooh.
Wow.
The people in Michigan aren't even big Michigan fans anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. People got to start talking about Harbaugh and start talking about these people who play them, Wisconsin roughed them up, man, up and down.
Yeah, they got some big beef in Wisconsin. But they got a lot of good beef in Wisconsin. I mean, that's the dairy
They
state.
have the meats, Tony.
They have the meats, the cheeses. They have all the important things that we need to keep America.
They are the charcuterie of the NCAA. Tony.
I think if I was the general manager for the Eagles, I would just draft in the 6th and 7th round the Wisconsin offensive line every year.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin and Iowa, man, you want to talk about beef. You want to talk about Brahma bulls. There's not a guy under 325 that plays there.
Yeah, and speaking of one of those Iowa guys, you're talking about T.J. Hawkinson, the rookie tight end out of Detroit.
Yeah,
he's another big guy, man.
Watch for him today, John. T.J. Hawkinson. Everybody talks about Kenny Golladay. This rookie tight end, T.J. Hawkinson from Iowa.
He's the guy I'm most worried about on the inside.
I agree. I totally agree with you. That's a good point. That's a great point. T.J. Hawkinson. Hopefully we don't say his name a lot today.
I have him in my fantasy team, so
as do I, Johnny. As do I.
I knew you would.
I had to start him today. It's an easy matchup for him. What do you want me to do, man? He's going to get off.
I'm looking for a reason not to play him today. That's
Wait a minute, John. Wait. So you and Luigi are both going to play a guy on the team that the Eagles are playing. So that means you're going to have to root for the Lions player against your hometown team. That's why I don't play fantasy. I could never root for another player on another team.
I would never do that. I want you to give my phone number out and tell the other guys in my league to make me an offer for him so I don't have to go through that argument. I'll trade him before 1 o'clock, I promise you.
Just sit him today. Sit T.J. Hawkinson, or else that could be the kiss of death.
No way I'm sitting him. And I'm not trading him either.
I'm sitting him. I can't. I'm lucky. I got George Little in that league, too, because I picked up Hawkinson in the last round.
Wow. This kind of stuff bothers me as a real Philly guy. It bothers me when people are going with the opposition against their hometown clubs. Really disappointing.
Hey, listen, I'll put Zach Ertz in. Tell somebody to give him to me. Don't worry about
it. Between you and me, I think TJ's the better play today, though, John.
Get out of here, Luigi. I'm going to have you thrown out of here now.
I'll leave on my own. It's fine.
Exactly. Hey, John, so what's the final score, John?
I love us around in the low 30s, 33, 34, 35. I'm always around there, and I'm just hoping that we can keep them in the low 20s. So let's just say 35-21, a lot of touchdowns, not much field goals.
35-21, another high. And, the under in this game, interestingly, in Vegas, it started out as 48. It's down to 45.5, so a lot of people think that this isn't going to be as high score. Remember, last week, 9 of 11 games went under. So a lot of people keep betting overs all over the place in the NFL, and then the 1 week everybody goes down, so they keep lowering the number, and that's obviously where the money goes. But the numbers dropped down to 45.5 the last time I checked it. I agree with the over. I think this game's going to go over.
Too many penalties being called during the games.
Oh, exactly.
It's killing the points. It's
Absolutely.
dropping the numbers.
Well, if you want to talk about the points scored again between these two teams, the last 4 games, Detroit averaging 28.75, round up to 29 points a game. Eagles averaging 26. So 55 points combined for these teams. over the last 4 games. So it's been traditionally a high-scoring game every time these two guys.
And we know, and we know that there's we got a gunslinger for Detroit. He's going to throw the ball all over the field because their running game is okay. It's not great, and they're going to throw the football all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's a bad matchup for the Eagles. You got 2 physical wide receivers in Marvin Jones Jr. and Kenny Gallup on the outside, each one of them 6'3", 6'4", respectively, and they can stretch the field.
Yep. We're stretching the pregame here. Countdown to kickoff live at Tollman Joe's. Come on down, free parking. Come down, get out of the humidity. What's the matter with you people? It's too damn hot to stand outside. Then they're going to be sitting inside a stadium all afternoon. Hot, humid, and sticky. Johnny, good to talk to you, man. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
The great Johnny Doc bringing his normal juice to the table, except the T.J. Hawkinson thing. That really pisses me off.
The ever-optimist, though. He's the ever-optimist, and that's why I love
T.J. Hawkinson, man. I would never start him.
Well, that's why you won't win.
Well, against the Eagles. I'll start him against everybody else. That's why I don't play fantasy. That's a violation, as someone once said.
It's not going to be my violation.
We're coming right back. Live here at Tollman Joe's, South Philadelphia. Beautiful, nice and cool in here. We're going to get the cocktails flowing soon. We're going to get ready. I got to get my game face on. So come on by and say hi, and let's relax, at least until game time. We're coming right back. Countdown to kickoff. ESPN 97.3 and on Twitch.tv, BrunoNation Live.
Hour number 1 of the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show is fueled by Dunkin'. After the Eagles win, you win with Dunkin'.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Coming up, we'll break down the Eagles and Lions and all the Week 3 NFL action. Grayson's Grades at 2:30. Football at 4 with Johnny Mack and ESPN NFL Insider Casey Joyner at 5:50.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Hey, Hunter, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so is everything
That sounded jerseys.
okay? So the
audio is great.
The calls are clear, so we don't know why, but we don't care because it's over.
Joe, everyone on Twitch and people that are listening are texting me now saying that the audio on that caller was crystal clear.
Okay, so so do me a favor. When you call John McMullen, if we're going to bring him back, Gil had suggested that he was either on a Bluetooth or I don't think he was in his car. He was already at the stadium, so he may have been on a Bluetooth. I don't know. I'm going to text him now. But everything is good here, and the audio is in-house. So
Okay, yeah, so Colin was okay. This was clearer than Colin, but John was weird, and I did nothing differently for any of them.
And pay $500.
But by the way, are we having the Godfather on this segment?
Yeah, you should have his audio ready and try and get him up now.
Absolutely, I have
it. Think about the savings, 25% off. That's amazing. And there's 0% financing on some of Chevy's most popular models. Plus, Bennett's paying
Tony,
a
do you see
minimum
the
$7,000 for any
the Twitch room?
Yes, it's right here.
Yeah, there's a couple comments that are interesting.
What's the matter?
There's a couple comments on there that are interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm reading them.
What's that? The audio. That was horrible.
No, Luigi's why. This electric eye dude's very active.
Godfather went straight to voicemail.
All right, let me text him again.
Okay.
Robin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody on the Twitch stream and people are texting me. They're saying that the audio is good. I'm just letting you know. So it's good.
Yeah, no, I already knew that.
Okay. Well then, let's not stand on ceremony here. Yeah, house is screaming.
Yeah, it's really, really loud. Okay, now what just happened?
I might have to get another.
Something just happened where it's all staticky now. What just happened? There's a lot of static that just happened all of a sudden.
We don't have the Godfather
Okay.
yet.
Now it just stopped.
I might have to get another handicapper.
Which will bang its cymbals when the right resonator.
Where's the output of this going?
Okay, there is no one.
It's going right to voicemail.
Yeah, I just tried to call him. I'm going to try Steve Merle in a minute, but
yeah, but
stand
it's not
by.
going through. It's only coming through the house system. It's not going through the board.
Oh, it's not going through the board. The compact.
Yeah, so when I play it, the only place we hear it.
Because it's right here.
Here, see?
And
it's not coming
only
through
going
us.
No, it's going through the house. And
That
it's too
sucks.
loud on the house.
Wonderful time of year. No, we're not talking the holiday season. We're talking all
No.
the action in the world of
No.
baseball,
It's
winding down,
Only the house.
kicking into high gear. Does it get any better? DraftKings Sportsbook, and you
can it's playing.
All the action on America's top-rated sportsbook.
Well, here now it's
this week only. DraftKings is running a special NFL insurance program.
Okay.
You bet on a team will win.
No.
Your bet is safe. DraftKings will credit back your wager if your team goes on to lose and they score at least 24 points. Just head to DraftKings.com/WENJ for a limited time. All new.
Yeah, I'm ready. We're just playing with the. No, that's Nick trying to figure out why the soundboard when I play like the NFL Fox theme or any of my sounds, it's not coming through it's not going through the board. It's just coming over in the house.
Take this number down: 804-977-1757. Steve Merle. Just take that number down.
Okay, it's off.
Now we get major static when you turn that up. Yeah.
Stand by, everybody.
Robin, don't pull.
It's okay. Let's go, Philly, stand up. And we brought it every play. See, I cheer for a team with fans that just like noise. Hellgate morning, freak out at night, boys. Eagle songs that make you get hype, boy. It's mystery. And I'm your favorite white boy, Stevie Wright, boy. And I'm bleeding green. Now I'm about to show you what this means to me. Come on, scream with me. Yeah, where's my people?
Yeah. Live at Toll Man Joe's Sunday. Eagles home. Second game this season here. And there's a little bit of anxiety in the Delaware Valley, if I can say that. I think it's the humidity. You know, we had some nice weather. It looked like fall was coming in. And we're that time of the year where, you know, you have a nice couple of perfect days like we had the last week. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it gets hot and sticky again. And then people get all antsy and angry and stuff. We can't have that.
I like this weather, though.
No, it's too hot.
No, I like this.
It's too hot.
It's still the official last weekend of summer, though, is it
I know a lot of people down the shore, they're checking in on the Twitch stream. Hey, I'm watching it at the beach. I'm listening to you guys at the beach. They're listening down on 97.3 down in Egg Harbor Township and along the beach.
Yeah. They're in the sand, and we're over here pounding it.
Exactly.
It's the worst.
So I don't blame people who go down the shore on a day like this. You know, it's still beautiful out. It's warm enough to go out and get your tan back that you lost 2 weeks ago after Labor Day. You want to go back out.
Oh, see, my tan is going. I'm so white, I might go out and buy a Prius after this, Tony.
Oh.
It's so bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
You're not white enough to go out and get a White Claw, though, are you?
No.
Okay.
I got the last two in Philadelphia in my fridge right now if anybody wants them, by the way. I don't drink them. I don't drink them. You know what they say. I don't drink them.
The Philadelphian checks in on the Twitch stream. Come on down to Toll Man Jones. We got Xanax martinis, yo. No, I don't believe they have Xanax martinis. But they do have pumpkin spice martinis. Pumpkin spice martinis here at Toll Man Joe's, right? Everything's pumpkin spice. Have you had a pumpkin spice martini?
I haven't, but I'll try it. Why not?
Absolutely. Why not? Everything's pumpkin. Is there anything that doesn't have pumpkin spice in it this time of the year?
I don't know, but if it doesn't, they're not trying.
You know what doesn't have pumpkin spice in it?
What's that?
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
Steve is on hold. Steve is on hold.
Oh, let's go to the Philly Godfather. This man has a little seasoning.
Is it Godfather?
Yes, it's
it's Steve.
Steve Merle. We're bringing up handicapper Steve Merle.
Oh, okay, because I know the Philly Godfather's first name is Steve, is it not? Okay.
Two Steve's got Steve Merle coming up right now.
Steve's more than capable of spicing it up for us anyway.
Let's go to Steve Merle. Sorry, Steve. I thought we had the Philly Godfather, Steve. I get my Steves confused. What's going on this morning, man? Steve, you there?
Hey, guys. Doing well.
All right. Sorry, man. It was because I heard Steve's on the line, and I thought we were, Anyway, we got you on here. The line on this game, this is the thing that's really crazy to me. This game was the Eagles were minus 310 on Monday. They're down to minus 235 now. So obviously, a lot of people are jumping on Detroit. Detroit was plus 255 on Monday. It's now plus 199. So obviously, the money is moving a lot in favor of Detroit as the week went on.
Yeah, this isn't exactly a best bet for me, but I would still lean towards the Eagles. I'm a little surprised by the line move in the game this week. I think some of it is probably a reaction to how slow Philadelphia started on Sunday night. I actually had a best bet going against the Eagles last Sunday with the Falcons for my client. It was looking pretty good, obviously, when it was 17-6 in the second half. And then Philly made a bit of a comeback, and we got the maybe fortunate win there with that big 4th-and-3 conversion for the touchdown. But the Sunday night game is the most watched. It's the most bet, really sporting event of the week. And I think that carries a lot of weight to the following week. We saw that back in week 2 when the Patriots were almost a record road favorite at Miami after their easy win and how bad the Dolphins look. And I think people are reacting, maybe overreacting to the result last Sunday night. I think this is a good spot for the Eagles still. I think they win this game straight up today.
I agree. -5, that's what's tempting to me. I mean, -7 and 8, -5. I think whoever wins this game, the point spread is not going to matter. Steve, appreciate you popping in. Thanks for your time. That's Steve Merle, handicapper.
Always part of the Countdown to Kickoff show, returning from last year, and he'll be with us during the football season. Steve, welcome back, brother, to the Countdown to Kickoff show. Appreciate it, man.
30 seconds.
All right, we got lots more still ahead. That's the first hour, as they say in the books.
That was just a teaser, Tony.
That was a teaser, just a tip.
For just
a second. We're coming back with another
20.
hour here live at Toll Man Joe's. Good stuff, more breakdown stats
15.
coming out the yin-yang. I mean, I got so much information on
10,
this game that you're going to
9,
need to get a notepad out,
8,
kids, and write
7,
this stuff down so you'll
6,
know exactly what's going to happen at 1
4,
o'clock. Stay with us.
3,
We're live at Toll Man
2,
Joe's. Countdown to
1.
kickoff, baby.
Hey, Birds fans, looking to score a BMW that fits your lifestyle and budget? Get to BMW of Atlantic City. Tackle hard-hitting savings on their entire starting lineup of your favorite certified pre-owned BMWs, like the 3 and 5 Series, the X5, and more. Only at BMW of Atlantic City, just off the Parkway, next to the Home Depot in Egg Harbor Township, and
I love The Godfather. He's just not he's only a bit.
That's why I don't even know him.
Yeah, we covered him. He's from Pro Sports Info. He did it for me every week last week because he's consistent.
Hello.
I'm susceptible to when he picks up the phone.
Right. You can't bet on him.
Can't bet on
The Godfather.
First, you'll get the personalized orthopedic care the Cape region has counted on for decades. And through our partnership with Penn Orthopedics, you'll now benefit from nationally ranked clinical expertise respected across the country. For an appointment, call 601.
This is like when you watch a movie and you see the outtakes.
I just want to
People
make
want
sure
the
that
outtakes
everybody
on these
knows
shows.
that even during commercials.
Hot mic.
Godfather gives out winners.
Hot
He's not
mic.
allowed
Hot
to be on
mic.
here every single week.
Big E, you okay over there? All right.
Beautiful.
I don't know if we don't have him now. Hang on a minute. Let me see.
All right.
Just in time for football action.
I'm all.
Now it's time to trust yourself. Download the William Hill app and get ready to prove yourself right.
I don't know him. I mean, I don't know everybody. Everybody knows me, but that doesn't mean I know everybody.
Do you know who I am?
It's not a knock. I thought the Philly Godfather's name is Steve.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I hear Steve, I'm thinking we got the Philly Godfather
Well,
on.
and we
people
also-
are ripping me on the Twitch stream.
Well, not only that, but we were just talking about getting the Philly Godfather on just
And his
before.
first name is Steve.
Right.
Hunter,
so when
put
you,
Colin there. We're not going to
Makes
go right
sense.
to him out of the break. Tony will drop to him about 5-6 minutes in. Tell him it's going to be 4 minutes. Make sure he's not on speaker. Oh, good. I always want a different We Ready. I love We Ready. I'll change anything you want about the show. I'm not changing We Ready.
I need to get back to We Fit. I mean, We Ready. I mean, I haven't used my We in a couple years.
What's that?
I'm going to say that. I got it.
Awesome.
Come back.
That's good. You have producer license with that, but I just want to make sure that we always have a We Ready audio drop to start the second hour.
I'm actually cold in here.
There's Carson. Look, he's got the headsets on. Does he have a brace on? No brace.
He's listening to Christian rock right now, Tony.
Yeah, he's listening to Gobsmack. Oh, no, they're not Christian.
Listening to Creed.
Listening to Creed.
Tone, about 5-6 minutes into the segment, you will have Colin there if you want him, okay?
I love them today. Love Minnesota today. -7.5, 8.
Let's see where are my picks here.
We also have Mike Gill's keys if you want him. Gill is
Keys?
on standby if we want him.
Is he tape or is he live?
He's live.
Really?
He's live. He'll be by phone. If you want him, we can take him.
Pull it up
In this
now.
segment or in
No,
the next
no. We can. He's there. We can get him whenever you're ready.
But I thought we're using.
No, I'm saying you have Colin now. We can move Gill to the next segment.
Okay, yeah. That's what I mean. I wouldn't want to double up in one segment,
No.
right?
No.
Okay, there's no dolphin. But skills tests, that's for sure.
That line went to 9, the Minnesota game.
Hunter, do me a favor. Ring Steve Merrill real quick and
You know
tell him
that?
apologize for the short hit.
That
but
number went to 9.
I'll communicate with him by email
Minnesota?
and get him
I
on a
love
scheduled
Minnesota
time
today.
every
I love
week.
it.
-9?
Yep.
I don't,
I have
Yeah,
them every
once we
single
get
bet.
back. Once we get back on.
who sent that one out?
I went with this. This is the big money
You
parlay.
said
I didn't want him offended by the
Green Bay.
introduction of the Godfather there.
Oh, that was Adam Schefter.
Buffalo, Minnesota, Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's who I have.
I had that. That's a $75.
If you can clip that Doherty segment for me, too, and send it to me in a separate, I need that.
You took the Giants?
Yeah, I know. I got the Giants, Arizona, the Giants.
I'll send you the graphic.
I took
Drop
Arizona,
it under the graphic
the Giants,
for me.
and Indy. Those are my
But
three.
who did I take? That's what I'm trying to
No,
think.
but that's
Stand
what
by,
I took.
everybody.
CH, that's what I'm getting wrong.
That's what you took too.
But I have one more game, and I don't remember.
It was
which
another
one.
dog.
Time for the countdown to kickoff show. With Mr. Philadelphia, Tony.
I got to go look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been waiting to see this.
Live on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app.
Goes to Peterson. He is stacked up for a loss.
From Tolman Joe's, 26 East Oregon Avenue in the heart of South Philly. Presented by IBEW Local 98. Powered by Martin Law and fueled by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union. Now,
Yeah, I think he ripped Kraft.
and time for the
I
countdown
think he
to
came out and ripped
kickoff
Kraft.
show with Tony Bruno.
What do you mean we? You know, speaking of Wii, I haven't pulled my Wii out and played Wii Fit in a while. I need to get on that thing. Remember the Wii? You still have a Wii console?
I don't have a Wii console.
I got a no console.
Yeah.
Wii or no? It's a French thing. We're live here at Toll Man Joe's, an hour away from the Eagles kickoff with Merrill Reese and Ike Reese. Merrill Reese and Ike.
And Mike Quick.
Mike Quick. Ike Reese is a part of it, too.
You got to finish drinking the rest of your coffee before you start going on air, Tony. That's
Now,
what it
I
is.
have breaking news.
This is huge.
This is breaking news because, yes, even though he won't be playing today, Antonio Brown has to be heard from almost every day of the week. He has just tweeted this on his AB84 Twitter account. I will read exactly what he just wrote moments ago. Will not be playing in the NFL anymore. These owners can cancel deals, do whatever they want at any time. We will see if the NFLPA hold them accountable. Sad they just can't void guaranteed anytime. Going on 40 million 2 months. We'll see if they pay up. I have no idea what that means, but obviously he's pissed off at Robert Kraft and all these other guys who are willing to give him money to come and play football, and then for some reason he decides that he doesn't want to play for one team, and then he goes to another team, and then he has problems with that team, and he's got legal issues that the teams don't want to deal with or the rest of the league, and now he's going to hold them accountable.
So our next question is, what name is he going to have on the back of his XFL jersey, Tony? Because that's exactly where he's going. If you want to make a bet, a surefire lock.
The XFL has already tweeted.
No, that was a fake. That was a parody account.
They don't want him? No?
No, it's a
no. There was
a
an
parody
XFL parody account.
So the XFL wants him or they don't want
him?
him?
The XFL will take anything. Anyone. Trust me. The XFL would love to have Antonio Brown. So these instant ratings.
By the way, there's no periods,
that was
commas.
A parody account.
Okay.
So grammar and sentence structure are difficult with Antonio Brown, but unfortunately,
he's been through a lot this week. Don't give him a break.
Let me read this again and tell me I'll tell you where I understand and then what I don't understand. Will not be playing in the NFL anymore. Got that.
Mm-hmm.
These owners can cancel deals, do whatever they want at any time. We will see if the NFLPA hold them accountable. So that should be another period there.
Right.
So I got that. So he wants the NFL Players Association, the union that represents him, to hold the owners accountable.
We can decipher that.
Sad they can just void guarantees any time. I got that. This is the final sentence, even though there's no periods, commas, exclamation points, or any other punctuation. Going on 40M 2 months, we will see if they pay up.
I believe it's going on $40 million he's lost inside of 2 months.
How did he lose $40 million if he hasn't played? He played one game last week against the Patriots.
He lost $35 million guaranteed with Oakland.
Right.
And he just lost another $5 million on this Monday with the Patriots. That's $40 million.
Okay, I'm glad you were able to decipher it. That's why I wanted to make sure we read it and I actually put the
Tony, I'm
sentences.
deep in the streets, Tony. I understand the verbiage on Twitter, all right?
You're deep in the streets. I'm a freak in the sheets. That's all that matters to me. I mean, that's all we
well,
really
I
care
have
about.
aspirations, all right, my friend? Jesus. You got to start somewhere. Started from the bottom, now we're here, Tony.
Now, people, that was an hour ago. It's the latest tweet, okay? Not everybody has this. So he's now blaming the league for costing him $40 million. Is it the league's fault that he went through all that drama in Oakland when he signed the deal? Is it his fault that he went and froze his foot? Is it the league's fault he froze his foot, that had a helmet issue, then finally comes back, and then finally goes out there, and he decides that a couple days before the season starts he's not going to play?
Right.
And then they said he calls the general manager, cracker and all this other stuff, offers to fight him. That's the league's fault? Anyway, this guy's nuts. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, let's go back to a man who never complains about $40 million guarantees or how much money he's lost. He's played in this league. He is, of course, the great Colin Thompson, NFL free agent. Colin, $40 million, and he's lost $40 million in 2 months, man. Should we start a GoFundMe on the show this morning?
I already did.
I think so. I mean, now are you going to start it at $40 million? Are you going to set a lower number? What's the number?
I'll start it at 40 cents. I got like loose change. I'll throw 40 cents in to try to get Antonio Brown back into the NFL, but he's not playing there anymore. Will the XFL sign him? Because there was a tweet earlier this week, and I got sucked in too. It looked like it's the XFL's official account, but it wasn't. And they said they actually tweeted the fake XFL, which is a parody. We don't want you in our league either. So it was one of those tersely worded tweets. But then I realized, and I looked it up, it was the fake XFL. I don't know if there's a real XFL Twitter account, but I don't know what their status is.
No, I think the XFL would open, have him with open arms. Obviously, he's generational talent. He's, he is what it is. We all know how good he is. Obviously, there's been some crazy baggage off the field, and then now, aside of everything, he's got some legal issues that he needs to figure out, and he may be facing some serious things. So I think they would welcome him with open arms. Why not? I just hope there's a quarterback in the league to throw him the ball. There's so many quarterbacks getting hurt now; they're all going to be in the NFL.
Exactly.
So, I think they would welcome him with open arms. Yeah, of course they would.
But I got to give Luigi some props too, because we read the tweet several times. I put the periods where they belong, the commas where they belong, and then we finally we're like basically decoded it. Mm-hmm. It's like being one of those Navajo code talkers.
I was like Nick Cage in National Treasure. It's all about the cipher. You got to figure out the cipher, and then you can.
We know where the Declaration of Independence is. We don't know where Antonio Brown's money is, Colin. That's the problem right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out legally with all those guarantees. Right? It's guaranteed money, but wait, it's not guaranteed money. It's so confusing, and obviously contracts they can be ripped up and thrown in the trash in a minute now, especially the NFL.
But remember, in Oakland, he was perfectly happy to walk away. Remember, he did the whole video, I'm free.
He said, I'm already rich. The house is paid for. Yeah. I'm already a millionaire. I don't need to play another down.
I'll tell you what, guys, I cannot wait for this 30 for 30 in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be unbelievable. By the way, has anybody seen the Dennis Rodman 30 for 30? It is fantastic.
Who's 30 for 30?
Dennis.
Oh, yeah. The Dennis Rodman one was phenomenal, yeah. No, it's great.
Phenomenal. But
all the 30. But wait a minute, Colin. 10 years? How about 10 weeks? His 30 for 30, they're already putting it together.
Yeah, they said with Tom Rinaldi's already on a
Tom Rinaldi's
wherever AB is.
All right, let's get back to this game now. And I'm starting to lean Eagles. I think that everybody is so going the other way and driving the number down to 5 and thinks that the Eagles are going to come out there because they look bad, because they don't have their number one people out there, that they're just going to show up at home and not play well. Is it possible? Yes. But to me, I think this team, I think Doug Peterson realizes what's at stake here. He's the head coach. But I think that they're going to come up with a game plan. Because as I mentioned before, the Eagles don't run the football. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher in 35 games, not a home rusher in 23 straight home games. And by the way, the Lions, as far as their defense, they give up 124.5 yards per game on average. 5.4 yards they're giving away per carry on first down. So here's a team that's been giving up 5.4 yards per carry on first down. You know that. You know you should try to run on them. That's why you got to run them. That's a pretty good number. If the Eagles can average 5.4 yards on first down, that's going to move the chains.
Huge.
This is actually a game where I'd like to see Carson Wentz run a little bit more. I mean, in the first 2 games, he had 7 attempts for 8 yards total.
Right.
Total.
Yeah, but he only should run when he has to.
No, but this is a game where I think he can get loose outside a little bit more. There isn't so much danger on the outside with their outside linebackers. I think Wentz can do a lot of damage with his legs today.
There's plenty of damage. There's plenty of danger on the outside. Listen, I hear you. They don't have these news and noteworthy guys. But listen, Carson just needs to play quarterback. And I always say that. I know it sounds weird, but play quarterback. Throw it to the open receiver. Read the coverage. You're going to see a lot of man. You're going to see bracket on Zach Ertz. If he's got to run for it, I love it. I hear you, Luigi. But my issue is his health, correct? Right? We all know that.
Of course.
He got a little banged up last week. So, to me, just play the game. If you're going to get on the edge, sure, I'd love to see it. But listen, Doug Peterson knows they have not ran the ball with success. It is going to be an emphasis this week. You bet it is. He gave them that refreshing walkthrough on Wednesday when usually it's a full speed, full pads practice early in the year. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be ready to go. This is a veteran offensive line group that's played a ton of football together. This is a quarterback that's very good with the run game and checks. And it's a quarterback that's seen this defense a bunch. I know it's not, I'm not talking about the Lions defense. I'm talking about the Patriots defense. He's faced them a bunch, and so's Doug, and they've been successful against him. So I just see it happening today with the run game. I know we've been waiting for it, but I just see it being a precedent, and I do see all 3 of the running backs having a nice day. I'd love to see him get Darren Sproles back involved. I know John McMullen talks about pick 1 running back, but that's not the NFL we live in today. So get all 3 of them involved and just ride them all the way to victory.
Now, you say that, Colin. I say that. Tony says it. Everyone else says it. But does Doug hear it? Does he believe enough to finally again, there's no better way to get the offensive line going than to get those big guys up front and start grading that road in front of them. That's how you get them into the game. Yep. That's how you get them focused. You get them aggressive.
I completely agree.
I hope Doug just makes it a focal point early and often to get the game going on the ground. That's the only way I can see it.
And he knows, just like Tony said earlier, right? He's aware of all the things. He's aware that this is a big win. But he's aware that, hey, they go to next, in 4 days, 5 days, they're playing a game again. Yeah. They haven't even snapped the football in South Philly yet. So he knows that, right? Run the football. Use your best players, your offensive line. One of the best groups in the league. Give Carson chances to throw the ball deep. Take a shot every once in a while in the play action game. They need to get the play action going. That's when Carson's at its best. That's when any offense is at its best. And you're right. Is Doug aware? I think he's aware. He's got to be. So I see the run game being a thing today. I really do.
One of the last stats that's really surprising to me, Zach Ertz, in games where he has 10 or more catches, the last 5 games where he's had 10 or more catches, the Eagles lost 4 of them. So they've lost 4 or 5 games where he averages 10 catches, and everybody wants him to get the ball a million times. So that's not the solution. You've got to have a mixed balance. You've got to run the football, and then you get Zach Ertz involved and everybody else. To me, that's going to be the key. Colin, good to talk to you, man. We'll see you soon. See you tomorrow night, right? Thanks. Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Landmark Americana.
Quick turnaround, Tony.
Exactly right. And tomorrow night,
the Eagles.
Last chance to register for the tickets to go to Green Bay on Thursday, and lodging also in Green Bay for the game. We've thrown in lodging as well.
This is a Tony Bruno Lambeau Leap on Thursday.
Exactly. Meanwhile, we're going to come right back and bring you more excitement, the thrill, the color, the pageantry, the electricity that is uniquely Countdown to Kickoff live here. Tollman Joe's in South Philadelphia. Come on by, cool off, get out of the heat, get out of the humidity, and more importantly, get out of the stupidity. On 97.3 ESPN and Twitch.tv BrunoNation Live.
Hour number 2 of the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show is sponsored by the Philadelphia Federal Credit Union. Philly's home is our home. Go to pfcu.com.
It's the NFL on Sports USA, and it's off to Seattle as the Seahawks host the New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Hawks with Russell Wilson making magical things happen and flying down the field like a rocket is Tyler Lockett.
Someone asked me Doug Peterson like 2 days ago if he's going to have enough people healthy to even dress. And he kind of like laughs it off.
Camaro
And
on the
then he
ground
rooms
and
the
Thomas through the air.
Okay,
makes
perfect.
scoring a breeze.
Okay,
It's
cool.
the Saints at the Seahawks this Sunday on Sports USA.
3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hunter, is this the cut where he asked with Zach Berman? He asked Zach Berman if he could run a play.
No, this is the cut if someone asks if he'll even have enough people to dress for you. And he kind of like laughs, but then after that he says Deshaun's going to be out.
It's college game day.
I remember
football
he was also,
Sunday
when he was
plus
asked earlier in the
Monday
week
Night
about it,
Football
he
and a
said,
special live
you know, we need
NFL
somebody to get
Countdown
deep.
to Kickoff show
Can Nelson
with the
Aguilar
Tony
get
Bruno
separation
show
on the
every
outside?
Thursday starting
And we don't
at
have that
6
many guys
p.m.
who can do that.
Get the
And
daily
then he
specials
said,
on
Zach Berman
Facebook.
said to Zach,
Find your way.
do you have any other
Screwball
guys? He said,
Sports
can you
Bar
run? Can
and
you
Grill in
get
King of Prussia.
separation?
Screwball
And
where
that's how it
sports
ended.
people
The one
go
press
to
conference I
watch
saw.
the game.
Ah, damn, I wish I had enough time to grab that.
$27.99 due at sign-in.
You don't know it's Zach Berman until
tax title and license
afterwards
extra.
when
Total
people
savings from
said it
Ford
was Zach
rebates.
Berman.
With approved credit through Ford credit.
Right.
Ends October
That's funny,
1st.
though.
Volume claim from 2018.
I'm gonna get Gil now.
Cumberland, Salem, and
Okay.
Gloucester counties per Ford Zone reports.
Number 1 Williston is Ford in South Jersey.
Tony?
General Manager
Yeah.
Ivan Nelson, your
I
exclusive
don't know if you saw
Williston
Electric
option
Eye.
Florida's
Yeah,
got
I
people
saw
from
that.
Atlanta,
The Colin
City,
Thompson
Katy,
stuff.
has a great
even
story about
Philadelphia
Colin.
options instead of obligations.
And right now, with a 2-year option plan,
And
drive a
Booyah
new
Hitman 12
2019
says, should I
Ford
bet on the
Escape
Lions today?
SE
No.
for just $189 a month.
That's a
Just
big no.
$189 a month.
No.
And when the
Go
plan's
for
up,
the
bring it back
Eagles,
to Williston
Booyah.
Ford for
No,
a
it's
new
not about
one.
who you're going
Keep
to
it
root
and pay
for. The question
difference
is who's going
or
to win the
simply
game.
walk
Yeah.
away.
Or
I picked
if
against
you're
the
looking to
Eagles
buy
the first two
right
games,
now,
Ralph.
I know.
You know that?
2019 Ford SUV models.
You picked against the Eagles?
I did. Well, I did on my pick
Oh,
my
in your
first
picks.
week, and then on the show the first week, everybody was all wrapped up, and then
Right.
on the air I said I'm going to take the Eagles too,
Right.
the 11.5. But they were favorite
right,
over
right.
Washington. Remember?
Right.
But I actually made the Eagles pick as I know I took the Redskins with the points. I took Atlanta with the points in week 2. So I'm not jumping on the Eagles bandwagon every week.
No, listen, I took Atlanta. Reluctantly, I took them last week, but it was a good spot to take Atlanta. And again, I think I like Detroit this week.
You can.
Philly's biggest fan will always pick the Eagles, and
Now-
his end of season record will be exactly what the Eagles' record is.
Now, if I'm allowed to, if we get into it a little bit more, like when we're making our picks, because Tony's going to make it, stuff like that. But I can get into a little bit why I actually do feel that Detroit's going to win this game.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And it's legitimate. It's legitimate concern for the Eagles. I mean, again, you're looking at Vontae Maddox, Ronald Darby. These guys are not
Last
aggressive.
time the Eagles faced Matt Patricia, they fried him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but forget about that. I'm talking about, listen, the Eagles are going to score points.
Yeah.
The problem is I can't see how this Eagles defense on the outside can handle Marvin Jones Jr. and Kenny Galladay. You're talking about two big, aggressive wide receivers who get separation and get down the field. You have trouble against Julio Jones, you're going to have trouble against Kenny Galladay. You have trouble against Calvin Ridley, you're going to have trouble against Marvin Jones Jr. TJ Hawkinson is Zach Ertz 2.0.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to move the football up and down
Well,
the
they're going
field.
to score.
Again.
They're going to score points.
I'm calling Lions 27-24. Late field goal wins.
And the over. And that's
what
the
I'm-
over.
and the over. That's what I'm saying. What was that? Are you out of your mind? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. I say, listen, I want to pick the Eagles, but I think I gave enough evidence there for them to lose. Listen. I think it's a field goal game, coin flip. I think Detroit takes it. That's all.
Audio cut.
And register for your authentic Tony
What's
Bruno
that?
Eagles game jersey, presented by Martin Law, the law firm for
Yeah.
injured workers.
3 seconds.
Sports bash. Sports bash.
Yeah. Heck yeah. We have like 7 days before we play games, so we got all this time in between to get healthy and all that. So yeah, we have plenty of guys. I'm still optimistic. I will say this: Deshaun will be out of this game, obviously, but the other two I'm optimistic. And then obviously wait till game day.
Well, the wait till game day is over. That's why we're here at Countdown to Kickoff in the air-conditioned splendor of Toll Man Joe's. If you don't have tickets, or if you have tickets and you sit in the game and you're too hot and you've been in the parking lot since 7 a.m., you got to go and come into Toll Man Joe's. A lot of people come in here and watch the games every Sunday. Make your way on over here.
It's a great spot to watch Eagles football on an Eagles Sunday. It is an incredible place to be. Free parking when you get here, free parking when you leave. It's guaranteed.
Exactly right. Meanwhile, we are back, and, of course, we get closer to Countdown to Kickoff. And then, of course, at noon, we'll go live to Merrill Reese over at the stadium on the Eagles radio network. And Mike Quick to bring you the Eagles pregame countdown to kickoff. But you heard Doug Peterson earlier in the week saying, he doesn't know if he's going to have enough guys. He did say he ruled Deshaun out immediately. We already talked to John McMullen. He said Dallas Goedert was out on the field warming up, and they were looking at him closely. I don't think he didn't see Alshon out there. We just saw a live shot at Lincoln Financial Field. Carson Wentz was out there looking good, moving around. So everybody thinks he's hurt. I don't think Carson Wentz is hurt. That's the one thing that bugs me, when everybody just assumes because he took a rib shot that there's something wrong with him. Well, what happened in the second half? Let's bring in Mike Gill, a man who follows this stuff closely every single day on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Mike, are you in the Carson Wentz is hurt, that's why he struggled last week camp?
No, not at all. I think you just nailed it, Tony, which was he didn't play well in the first half. I think a lot of it is, I don't understand this, but when teams game plan, I still haven't figured out why they don't allow the second and third guys to get reps in practice. So he's throwing the ball to guys for the first time in a game. Like, I get it, the first string guy doesn't want to give up his reps, but can't they run the same thing, go in the opposite direction with the second team guys just so they get some reps? I always hear, well, they got no reps during the week. How is that possible?
But Mike, it's been that way forever, and every team. It's not just the Eagles who do it because they use the backup guys.
I get that. I'm not blaming the Eagles. I'm just saying in the NFL, I hear this all the time. Like, well, the second team guys get no. I've heard Colin Thompson say on the Monday Night Countdown to Kickoff show where he said, Alshon Jeffrey doesn't want to give up his reps if he knows that's what pattern he's going to run in the first down packages. I understand that. I'm just saying, how come they don't run the same, have the first team run from the 50-yard line west and have the second team run from the 50-yard line east? They just run the same play going opposite. Through this way, they at least get some reps during the week. I don't get it.
No, I hear you, and a lot of people will agree. But what Colin was saying is that a lot of the guys who are the backup receivers, they're playing defense. They're basically playing Julio Jones. One of those guys represents Julio Jones when they're playing, because they don't have Julio Jones to go out there and run, and then they have to defend him. So receivers are playing defensive back. That's what happens. A lot of guys are basically filling in for the opposing team, and that's why they don't get the reps. And I think it's a good point, but I just don't know if they have time, or once the coaches make the game plan, they want to make sure they run that play over and over again to get Carson and the first team offense in sync. I mean, that's the only reason.
Think that attributes more to why Carson struggled in the first half. He's throwing to guys he's never thrown to before. He's throwing to guys who weren't there in practice. It's the whole opposite effect when the backup quarterback comes in and he takes the field right down the field. Well, the other team didn't prepare at all for that guy to come in and what he was going to do. And then once they get the tape and once they get a chance to work with it, it all changes. So I would imagine this week, even though they didn't practice Wednesday, they practiced Thursday instead, that Aguilar, Arcega-Whiteside, and Mac Hollins got a majority of those reps. So you should see a much better rhythm. So I don't think injury – sure, he's banged up. Everybody's banged up. But I don't think it's a, oh, my God, Carson's hurt again type of thing.
I agree with you. Mike Gill joining us from the Sports Bash. We talk about looking at the weapons that the Lions are going to throw out there. But here's the thing about the Eagles to me. This is a stat that's staggering to me. The Eagles' defense is third in rushing yards allowed. They've allowed 90 total yards in their first two games rushing against them. Yet their passing defense is the third, is allowed 650 passing yards the first 2 weeks. And this is only the third time in NFL history that a team has allowed more than 650 passing yards and less than 90 yards rushing in their first two games. So obviously, they do a good job against the run. They just can't stop anybody when they throw the football. It's incredible.
That's been the story the last, 3 seasons with Jim Schwartz. And it's a love-hate with Schwartz. I mean, a lot of people can't stand, we talk a lot, Tony, about, well, how do you match up with the weapons, with Julio Jones and Kenny Golladay? What are you going to do? Well, it's not the concern of how you match up with them, because Schwartz lets them catch the ball. Just catch the ball in front of us. We'll try to tackle you. In 2017, they tackled you. In 18, they struggled, and right now they're not tackling as well. So every team throws the ball in front of the Eagles secondary. Their job is to come up and tackle. They have a great run defense, so everyone just says, all right, you're going to give us underneath, we'll just take underneath. And that's the struggle they have sometimes. And then every now and then they have that double move that they seem to hit every week. You're going to hit us underneath, you're going to hit us underneath, you're going to hit us underneath, and then boom, we're going to try to get something over the top. And last week, Tony Ryan missed multiple deep shots that they had the Eagles beat. They got to get better there, and that's why all this Jalen Ramsey talk has been, proliferating the airwaves over the last week, is because people are tired of seeing these guys get beat. But you know what? I don't know that would change. Is Schwartz going to change his philosophy up with Ramsey here? Is he going to tell Ramsey, let the guy catch the ball in front of you and come up and tackle him?
I don't know if he's going to say that to Jalen Ramsey.
Well, here's the thing, though, too, Tony, is that Schwartz has been aggressive. He's sending blitz. The thing is, though, even with the front four and him sending all these blitzes, no one's getting home. The Eagles have 2 sacks.
Yeah, but they got him when they blitzed last week against Atlanta. The problem is that the front four by itself is not getting enough pressure.
I understand, and they're even moving Fletcher. They have Fletcher Cox lined up on end. They're trying everything they can to get to the quarterback. They're just not getting there. They're just not getting there.
Luigi, it looks like Fletcher Cox doesn't have the same bounce or the same explosion, which means they don't need to double and sometimes triple team him. The second guy, they're down to the third guy now at the tackle next to him with Jernigan, who's a good rusher, Malik Jackson, who was a good pass rusher. The guy they're bringing in now is a run-stuffing tackle, whether it be Ridgeway or Spence. Those guys aren't pass-rushing tackles. They're run-stuffing tackles. So they're losing there. And then their ends, Barnett and Graham, they get pressure, but they don't get the sacks. And that pisses everybody off. Is we can't get – but they had 8 quarterback hits against Washington, 6 last week. A little bit of it is, too, this whole notion of they don't get the sack and the numbers aren't there. But at the same time, these teams know that you can throw the ball quick and underneath against the Eagles, so they get the ball out quick because the Eagles' secondary lets you catch the ball underneath.
And that's the biggest thing that I think Schwartz has to change going this week. Even though he's going up against 2 big physical receivers in Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay, I think he has to get these corners up there and press these guys right at the line of scrimmage and take your chances and give your guys up front a chance to get home and get to the quarterback. Now, if they make if they make a move, a double move, and get deep, I mean, so be it. But you got to at least press these guys at the line of scrimmage and give these guys up front a chance.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, guys. This kid Drake, he's a runner. And this Hawkinson, he had 150 yards in that first, 132. I mean, he's a weapon at tight end. So this team has under-the-radar weapons. The thing is, Stafford, and Luigi, you bring it up, the pressure. He does not handle the pressure well. Most quarterbacks don't, but he makes a lot of mistakes when you get in his face. So he's got some guys that are interesting, but if they can hit Stafford early, they should be able to get turnovers. They had 3 turnovers last week and lost the game. Unbelievable.
And that's also because of the fact, again, Matt Ryan he threw up some of the ugliest interceptions I've ever seen.
But because there was pressure on him.
I understand that, but Stafford, if you let him, he'll shoot himself in the foot. All you got to do is just get around him. He will make the errant throw.
Mike Gill with the keys to the game. The Sports Bash, you hear him every week. I'm getting excited now. I'm losing my voice.
I'm hyped.
And I haven't even started yelling. I haven't even started yelling at the TV sets yet.
Just give it a few minutes, Tony. Just give it a few minutes.
I got to say, I got to pace myself. It's a long day. It's an early game. Mike Gill, talk to you, man. Thanks, buddy. The Sports Bash every Monday to Friday.
And, Tony, by the way, the UV index is now at 5, but the line for the game is now down to 4.5, Tony.
Oh, wow. You're not getting traffic time, weather together, humidity.
It just happened.
What's the barometric pressure at the ballpark right now over at Lincoln Financial Field?
Intense is what I would call it, Tony.
Beautiful. We got a warm front coming in this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Hurricane Schwartz. No, we won't. We're coming right back. It's Old Man Joe.
In the cone of uncertainty is where we are.
The cone of uncertainty in South Philadelphia on 97.3 ESPN and on twitch.tv BrunoNation Live. We're coming right back.
You're listening to the Eagles Game Day Countdown to Kickoff show presented by IBEW Local 98. John Doherty, business manager.
Coming up on the UEV.
Okay, Hunter.
This is 5.
Any issues with the audio there? Okay, so if
Electric Eye over here is
I'd like to have John McMullen once the inactives are posted.
That's all he's worried about. He can care less about the Eagles. He cares less about anything.
It should be, but it's not going to be right away. But if you get him on the phone, just let him know not to be on the Bluetooth. Yeah, I don't know why we were getting that, but let's just verify that's fine. Yeah, no, it was,
I'm hearing it,
it was really bad. Just let me know before you fade them out. That's all, so I know what's going on. And find out what time the inactives are coming out. They should be coming out now. If they're not out now, they should be posted shortly.
Let's get Adam Joseph to show us where the moisture is. Oh, oh man.
It might be all the way up. I think it's all the way up.
He's challenging Steve Keeley for the most orange person on television. Seriously.
I haven't
Adam
seen
Joseph,
that.
he spray tans in the winter.
It's Mr. Monday night, Mr. Thursday night, and is it Mr. Game Day or no? What is
Not
Game
yet.
Day?
Not yet. No, not yet, because
Not
my
yet.
Sunday record has been less than stellar. Not losing.
An amplifier that
Well,
will
Philadelphia, and
work for an
obviously we have to
iPad
talk a
yet.
little loud because the music
That we'll
in the
be
back
able
of us
to-
is
the
so
only way
dense,
to get it
and there's
up
people here,
to
so it's
any
hard for
normal
everyone
level
to hear
play
what's
out
going
of
on,
our
so we
board
talk
is
a
to
little
set it
louder.
up at all.
At some point, Tony, you'll have McMullen with the inactives at the stadium. I'm not going to him right away.
Okay.
I'll give you the cue on that.
Gotcha.
E, how good are the wings here? They're awesome
I think
wings.
I'm gonna get something to go.
Oh, the
I gotta
wings
get
are
something to go.
Yeah, the
I know.
wings are good here, man.
Yeah, let's turn.
Nick.
Again, I'm a wing connoisseur. There's only 3 places I go for wings, but this place is starting to take its starting to climb the ranks.
Tolman Joe's is at the shore.
I know.
Yeah, they're
I know.
placing
Oh, yeah,
Wildwood.
absolutely, yeah.
As a matter of fact, they're listening to us in Wildwood right now at Tolman Joe's.
Oh, sweet.
He remembers the video I put out there a long time ago, doing the Anthony Gargano, the screaming loud all over traffic. There's a video of that. It's hilarious. Oh, so we got Goddard.
Yeah,
is
we're going to
active.
John McMullen.
You know, I know the girl who's dating Dallas Goddard.
I know, you told me.
No. I know the girl who banged Brian Brayman, but the girl who's dating Dallas Goddard. He's a weird-looking dude, man. Seriously, he's a really weird-looking dude.
How did you? Let's just make sure his audio is clean. That's all. Okay, perfect.
Hey, listen, us fancy degenerates need to know what's going on for the 1 o'clock games, okay?
Tone, you want to go quick to McMullen for inactives,
No,
or you want to go
Electric Eye's
at
not the
the
same
end
girl.
of
It's,
towards the end of the segment with the
girl named Alexis.
inactives?
No, let's do them now.
Okay.
The other one was
Hunter,
married, and so was Brian.
Hunter, coming out of the break, Tony's going to go right to John for inactives, and then he'll dump out of the segment when ready. But it's not a full segment with him and McMullen. All right. Fly Eagles Fly. Tony and Luigi will be singing along, and then Tony will go right to McMullen to get the inactives.
30 seconds.
What's that?
Mark Andrews active. Yes, McCoy's active.
Yeah, after the McMullen stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll bring it up.
Eagles game jersey, presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
Here we go,
All right,
everybody.
Eagles fly on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles.
Come on, sing over there, damn it.
On a touchdown, 1, 2,
1, 2,
Come on, Nick.
3. Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. Come on,
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Or C-O-V-E-R, cover!
Exactly. Well, they have to win before they cover. You got to win the game, then you cover the number, unless there's a backdoor cover like there was in week 1 and everybody got pissed off.
SOBs cost me $900, Tony. I'm like, watch the back shoulder fade. There goes my money the entire time.
Let's go to a man who now has the list in his hand, live at Lincoln Financial Field, Eagle and NFL insider John McMullen. John, we know who's not playing. You told us earlier Goddard was out working out, so he's going to go, right?
Yeah, he is going to go, and that's the biggest news from the Eagles' perspective, and that really helps the offense. They can use 12 personnel with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. So that is a key development. As we expected, Alshon Jeffrey's not going to go, and it was really, really unlikely that the Eagles were going to push that. So no surprise he's not playing. Camu Grugier-Hill who's back practicing but was listed as doubtful. Target for him is week 4 in Green Bay. We'll see if he can get back, but he's also inactive. So some good news, some bad news, but Dallas Goedert's going to give it a go.
All right, now the last thing, of course, and that is the defensive line. Everybody's worrying about Fletcher Cox's foot and his toe, and certainly we haven't seen the Eagles without sending more guys able to mount pressure in their first 2 games. Is Fletcher Cox, how does he look out there? Because we know about the other tackles being down, but what about Fletcher Cox? Because that, to me, is the biggest concern, inability to get pressure just sending the 4.
Well, Fletcher said this week he's feeling a lot better. So remember, he didn't do much of anything over the summer when it came to practice, and he was coming off the foot injury and the surgery he suffered in the divisional round of the playoffs. So he really didn't have an off season. And if you go back last year, 365 days, we're kind of going through this same thing with Brandon Graham. He had off-season surgery, didn't have much of an off-season, and needed that sort of ramp-up period early in the season. I think you're going through that. You're seeing that with Fletcher Cox. He says he feels completely healthy. He's getting better and better every week. But I do think we're still in that period. I don't think you're going to see the typical Fletcher Cox you expect probably until close to midway through the season. Then the second half of the season, it'll probably be the old Fletcher. But he's getting better and better each and every week.
A man who doesn't have to get better because he's simply the best at what he does. John McMullen, we'll see you tomorrow night, right, John, at the Landmark Americana.
Looking forward to it. Landmark, great place to go. We're giving away Lambeau tickets, Tony.
Yes, we are. Somebody's going to go to Lambeau Field on Thursday night. And Joe Krause has thrown in lodging in Appleton, Wisconsin.
People are leaping at the chance, Tony.
One of my favorite metropolises in the world, Appleton, Wisconsin.
It doesn't get any. Go to George's Steakhouse.
It's a pretty nice place.
No, George's Steakhouse, one of my favorite places. I used to do their commercials for them. George's Steakhouse in Appleton, Wisconsin.
What's the beef, Tone?
There's no beef. It's quality beef. And, of course, try the cheese curds. I highly recommend them.
Yes?
But then again, you can try the cheese curds anywhere. It's like buying a cheesesteak in Philly. You can get cheese curds everywhere in Wisconsin.
I want to go where the locals go for cheese curds. I don't want to go to the main places. I want to go where the locals go. That's where I want to go.
John doesn't go to those tourist traps either. John, we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, thanks, guys. Enjoy the game.
There he is, John McMullen, live at Lincoln Financial Field. So Dallas Goedert
is active, Tony.
I won't be very active after 1 o'clock. I'll just tell you that right now. I am listing myself now as questionable for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, you were questionable getting here on time. You were doubtful to make it to the rest of this Eagles
game. What do you mean?
Game.
I was here at 9:15.
I brought you coffee. I was here early just for you.
You think I just walk in here and sit down?
Yes. Now
I don't.
Now, Joe, people have been texting me because they're starting to inquire, like, hey, what's going on with this Green Bay situation with the people getting tickets to go to Lambeau?
Where have they been?
Again, my friends, they're degenerates, so they're gambling right now, or they're shaking off hangovers. But they want to know what's going on for tomorrow because they'll be all well rested. So where can they go, and how can they qualify for these tickets?
As Tony and John mentioned, get out to the Landmark Americana in Glassboro, Corey Clement's hometown.
Yep.
We'll be there tomorrow night, 6 to 8 p.m. We will select, they will register to win when they arrive at the end of the show. Tomorrow night, we will select 2 registrants and bring them into the mix, and there'll be 6 total winners because we've been registering each week now for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then out of those 6, 1 winner will get the Tony Bruno Lambeau Leap 2 tickets to go to one of the greatest venues, sports venues in the world.
They're just giving this stuff away, Tony. They're just giving it away.
You're not getting this on any other pregame show. Every week, Joe Krause has jerseys. He's giving away the military jerseys. This guy has more jerseys than Modell's.
Look, I'll tell you what. You can go watch any other pregame show. You can go live to watch any other pregame show that's going on in this city and get yourself a Miller Lite beer cozy all you want. But if you want quality product and a chance to win fabulous prizes, you follow us. You get to where we are. Wherever we're broadcasting, Joe is out here giving away fabulous products.
I've never seen it. The guy has more jerseys than Mitchell and Ness.
Right.
He's got more. Now, what about the other place in Jersey that we advertise here on 97.3? Rallies? What's the name of the place?
What's Rally's?
What's the name of the place?
Talking about Rally House?
The Rally House?
Rally House is a Jersey place. It's a Jersey's, not in New Jersey, but I have several different locations.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Rally House is one of those places.
But you know what I mean. Nobody has more jerseys than Joe Kraus.
I might have to just get in disguise, Tony. I might have to get in the blackface just so I get a chance to go to Lambeau. Just so I could throw my name in the mix. 'Cause I work for the station, so I can't.
That'll work if you want to become Prime Minister of Canada. Do that tomorrow night. You could beat Justin Trudeau running for Canada's Prime Minister in a couple of days.
One of the best packages, Tony, that I've ever put out to give away.
It really is.
Lambeau.
And
we kicked off the season with the announcement of the countdown to kickoff up at the Great American Pub, and we gave away the greatest prize that an Eagles fan could ever win.
Which was incredible.
Tickets to every game in the NFC East. So that one
home
lucky
and
lady,
away.
What was her name? The
Amanda.
woman who won, Amanda won it. She got the tickets to the first game here. Then she's going to be here today for Detroit.
Correct.
No, I'm sorry. No, only NFC East games.
NFC East games.
So she went to the Washington game. She's going to go to the Giants game and the Dallas game.
And then she'll go to all the away games as well.
Yes.
That doesn't mean anything.
What are you doing here, Robin? We just had John McMullen on giving us this.
Well, so Robin gave us a report here that every single Eagles quarterback is active.
Well, that's true.
They have more active quarterbacks on the roster than they do wide receivers right now.
That's
So
right.
maybe they can throw nasty Nate Sudfeld and Greg Ward out there in some Wildcat formations. Maybe we'll see the return of the Wildcat, Tony. Maybe Ronnie Brown will run out there.
Maybe we'll do another Philly special today. So it is going to be Carson Wentz. We know that. Josh McCown is the backup. But Nate Sudfeld.
Nasty Nate Sudfeld.
According to Mike Kay, Nate Sudfeld and Greg Ward are all active today.
Yeah, Greg Ward.
They may be running a 4-quarterback formation. Maybe go back to the single win or the wishbone. Maybe line up 3 quarterbacks as running backs and then Carson.
This makes me lean Detroit more and more and more, Tony. More and more and more, okay?
So if the Eagles get down to Greg Ward as their quarterback today, after go through Carson Wentz, Josh McCown, and Nate Sudfeld, they may as well cancel the season before this game ends if that happens, which would be an absolute apocalypse is right. But they are prepared for it anyway. And thank you, Robin. I thought it was other injuries because when we bring John McMullen on, the big story is Dallas Goedert. And although Nate Sudfeld has not been active at all, except sitting on the bench talking to Carson.
He's been plenty active. His mouth's been active, but his hand has been, it depends on which, I don't know. Never mind. We're not going to get into that part of it.
So that's the latest. So we have everything's up to date.
Somewhere, by the way, deep into that row of jerseys lined up for us to give out throughout the entire season here on Countdown to Kickoff, somewhere in that rack of jerseys is a Nate Sudfeld. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when that jersey makes itself out to the countdown, but it's on the rack.
Well, Joe, if you can unsheath me a Timmy Chang, can you put that one on the side for me? Because I would love to get my hands on one of those.
You know where you can find a lot of Timmy Chang jerseys?
Where?
You just go out to Hawaii and any of the Goodwill stores.
Yeah.
They're all over the place, all over the discount and giveaway racks in Hawaii on the Big Island. No, you got to go to the Big Island of Kamanawanalea. One of my favorite places whenever I go out there, ladies and gentlemen.
I kind of want to poke you.
Thank you. Now, how about a Shittu jersey?
A Shittu jersey?
Yeah,
Shittu?
he's one of the Eagles' defensive players who was in training camp. His last name was Shittu, S-H-I-T-T-U.
Electric Eye saying, I still want my Frank Gore jersey. Now, Frank Gore is another guy who's going to be very active today for the Buffalo Bills.
Correct.
Because their young rookie, Devin Singletary, is out for those fantasy people. So Frank Gore is going to get a healthy dose out there in Buffalo, Tony.
A lot of interesting games today, obviously, and everybody's going to be the juiciest game, other than here in Philly with the Eagles in Detroit.
Yep.
Baltimore and Kansas City.
That's going to be primetime television. You got Lamar
No, it's
Jackson.
a 1 o'clock start,
I know,
so it's going to be out of the way
early. It should be prime time. Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes.
I know.
Two of the best, youngest quarterbacks out there right now. Mahomes threw 50 touchdowns last year. Looks like he's going to surpass it again this year. And Lamar Jackson, everyone says, is he going to be a passer? Is he just strictly a runner? Because he's not very accurate. Well, how's 65% completion percentage over the past 2 games and throwing 9 touchdowns? Come on, man. I mean, this is must-watch TV.
It's a shame that game's on at 1 o'clock. Because they're watching Eagles Detroit. That's why you got to have the package if you're at home.
The NFL can't flex that game?
Not in the third week, no.
Not in the third, but they would love to. They would love to, but they can't get in there.
That's the next contract.
That game was scheduled as a 1 o'clock game at the beginning of the season, and here it is, another 1 o'clock start. Buffalo, will they go 3-0 at home against Cincinnati? Cincinnati's 0-2. Indianapolis, another interesting game against Atlanta at home. And now, of course, people are wondering about their kicker, Vinatieri, who's missed 5 field goals. They're going to need him today, but I think they pull off that win against Atlanta. That's one of my locks. And you can go to TonyBrunoShow.com and then click on where the locks are, and it'll send you to the Props Network, which is posting my picks now all year long, right there for free, right on the front page. No charges. You don't have to call 900 numbers. That's how it works. Giants with the rookie quarterback today, and Arizona. Will Kyler Murray get his first win as a starting quarterback for your Arizona Cardinals?
Well, he tied. He came back to tie those Detroit Lions that are here in Philadelphia today in Week 1. And I do believe Kyler Murray will get off the schneid and take care of business
against Kyle Allen is the starting quarterback for your Carolina Panther today.
Yep.
And let's see. Obviously, everybody's going to watch the Giants and see what happens up there with the quarterback
Daniel
situation.
Jones, yeah.
You got a lot of young quarterbacks out there. A lot of young guys making their NFL debuts. A lot of guys now taking the reins from veteran quarterbacks. But Seattle, New Orleans later on, and then the Chargers and Houston's another interesting one. And we'll see whether the Steelers can go into San Francisco and get their first win with Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
And take a look at San Fran. San Fran, Vegas had them as a lot of people were jumping on San Fran. I wasn't too high on them, but it looks like Garoppolo and the boys on offense with a virtual who's who of receivers and weapons out there are looking pretty good. And that defense that was really suspect the past 2 years, all of a sudden, Tony, starting to come to form, man.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh, a lot of pressure on them on the road at San Francisco. And the Niners are favored by 6.5.
That's a huge spread for San Fran.
I agree. I think this is a spot for Pittsburgh that has to win this game to get back in some semblance of looking like a team that could make some noise.
East Coast team going all the way out west. Yeah. I don't know. But, again, they are healthier on offense. James Conner's a go for those fantasy players out there.
Beautiful. Coming back, we're going to give you some late picks. Luigi with his fantasy locks.
Do you want me to give you fantasy locks? I can give you some.
Well, we'll do it in the next segment. You just gave us James Conner's, but not John Connor.
Not John Connor.
John Connor.
Not Sinead O'Connor.
No. And not Chuck Connors, the rifleman.
Oh, jeez.
But that's old school.
That's a great pull by you,
And that's
Tony.
the way I like to roll. Kick it old school every once in a while. You know what I mean, Nick? We're coming right back. We're live here, Toll Man Joe's, getting ready. We're an hour away. And, of course, Merrill Reese will take it at the top of the hour right here live on 97.3 ESPN on twitch.tv, BrunoNation Live, yo.
Hour number 2 of the Eagles.
Okay, Hunter, what time will we be back, and how much time will we have left?
Federal Credit Union. Philly's home is our home. Go to pfcu.com.
This is Mays and Aton.
Tone, do you want the Godfather or no?
Do we have him?
He's available.
Yeah, let's pop him in.
Yeah, Hunter, try the Godfather. He texted me that he just turned his phone on.
You see that Kirk Cousins number? What's that? 44 fumbles since 2015.
And then you'll have the Godfather music if he's there. All right, we'll bring him up right out of the break. It'll be a 2.5 minute segment.
Don't like that, Kurt.
Yo, everybody. Is everybody ready for Sunday football? Sunday.
Just confirm
So
with
play
me
action
that
real.
he's there.
He's asking me, Tony said, who should I start, James Conner or Sony Michel? I got to, listen, James Conner, it's going to be tough out there. They're going to be focused on the running game because, again, they're going to force Mason Rudolph to throw the ball. Sony Michel, they were hoping to get him going last week against Miami, and they did a little bit. I think that continues again against the Jets, who have the worst run defense in the league.
Yep.
I go Sony Michel all day long.
We'll give that out.
And also, for guys looking out there for a super sleeper on wide receiver, huge week 1,
Yeah.
Philip Dorsett, who's now going to be taking a big step, another big step in that offense with Antonio Brown leaving town for the New England Patriots. He'll be playing outside of
Okay,
Josh
so we're
Gordon.
going right
Philip
into the
Dorsett,
Godfather.
another big game.
Right into the Godfather. You'll hear his music.
Okay.
Hunter, let that music play out. Drop the audio down when Tony brings him up, and then fade that away, all right? I just don't like a hard break on the music. That's okay. No worries.
So, Hunter, how much time in the last segment, approximately? Okay.
So
you'll
6
count
to the
me down
music.
to the hard out, right?
Well, Chicago sucks. Chicago sucks. Definitely go with T.Y. Hilton.
Hunter making his debut on the Countdown Show today. That was some repurposed audio, but that was good stuff. Welcome to the Countdown to Kickoff. Hunter made his debut in the show today.
Absolutely.
It was good. It was good stuff.
Crowd's starting to swell here. So am I, but that's happens when you get older.
He's his own machine, Hunter. Okay. He's his own YouTube entity out there. Good stuff, Hunter.
Yo, Krause. Joe.
Joe, you hear
Joe,
Robin?
Can you keep getting in front of the camera, dude.
You keep blocking the damn camera.
Not your back end.
Look at it. For once, Robin's not yelling at me. Luigi, you're blocking the damn camera. Luigi, you're blocking the damn camera.
The crowd's starting to get juiced here.
Yeah, it is, Tony.
I know. He keeps, and it's funny because he rocks back and forth, and so like he keeps going in and out and in and out.
Got to put me behind the glass. Here we go. Stand by for the Godfather.
It's okay. We don't need to see Luigi.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be seen, so it doesn't matter.
Presented by Martin Law, the law firm for injured workers.
Get money, yo.
My man, what's up, brother? Sure you got, Bob. Give you a call back in a little bit.
East Coast, Philadelphia, born and raised. In the streets is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. When against my dad's wishes when I dropped out of school. But mom didn't raise no fool, nor a rookie. My life took a change when I found my
You know what that theme song is, Luigi?
It means the locks have arrived, Tony.
The locks are hot, fresh out the kitchen. And the Philly Godfather is awake. He's active, and he's here to join us right now as we get it. We're about an hour, a little over an hour away. Philly Godfather, good morning. Thank you for joining us again today, sir.
Thanks. Another busy weekend, sending out purchase orders all week. And on Sunday, I got my runners at all the casinos ready to fire.
Ready to fire.
Ready to fire, baby.
Lock and load, baby. Lock and load. All right, let's start with this Eagles game. The line's now down to like 4.5, 4 in some places. So money's pouring in on the Detroit Lions. Are you part of that crowd? Because I saw you earlier on your website and on your Twitter talking about how this game has moved around so much.
Yeah, it opened up 7. It's down to 4. If you're looking to take the Lions, a lot of value has been extracted. But, I mean, when you look at this Phillies offense, they're ranked 26th in the NFL this year in yards per play. Well, and they played the Redskins and Falcons, who combined have given up 111 points on the season. So it tells you how bad this Phillies offense has played. So the bigger move, in my opinion, was on the under 49.5. The side went from 7 to 4. If you're looking to take Detroit plus 4, it's a little scary. The smarter thing to do is if you want to time in the teaser, Detroit plus 11, and then you can go under 52. I think that'll get you the money.
All right. Well, a lot of people now are going to start jumping on the Eagles at -4. You know, and again, I think the Eagles are going to win this game because I think they know everybody looking for a bad Eagles offensive performance today. I'm not one of those guys, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit has played tough, man. They gave away the game, the first game of the season, ended up in a tie, and then they go and they beat the Chargers. So this defense for the Lions is for real. We know the Eagles' defense is solid. So that's why I like the under 49. The game went to 45, like I said. Like right now, betting these games on Sunday after they've moved so much in the market, I mean, like you said, now there's starting to be some value on the Eagles at 4. If it gets to 3.5, I would buy the hook and go down to 3 and lay the 3 on the Eagles.
Is there a bigger lock on the over than Baltimore, Kansas City today?
Man, that's a tough game to call. It opened up 51. It went up to as high as 55 during the week, and then it just shot back down. They're expecting a little bit of weather, some wind, some rain. So if that definitely plays in effect, which if the weather does go a little bad in this game, then Baltimore should have an advantage because they're the better running team and the better defensive team overall. But if it's a nice day in Kansas City, I mean, I could see that total fly over 51.5. I see 52 across the screen right now. But keep in mind that line went up to as high as 55, and the sharp money got involved, the wise guys got involved, and they pushed it all the way back down to 51.
And the bottom line is Kansas City has not lost a September game in their last 9. So and Andy Reid sets it and forgets the month of September. They just go out and win in September, better than any team in football.
And speaking of big numbers, the two biggest numbers on the board, obviously Miami, Dallas 22.5, and New England favored 21.5 over the Jets. Now, a lot of people are like, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points, and they're talking about two bad teams, both on the road. Can you conceivably see either one of these favorites covering a number that big?
Man, the number in the Patriots game is
massive.
21. I think the last time an underdog that was 21 was getting 21 points. Last time they lost, they didn't even cover the spread, was back in 1982. So these big dogs are plus 20 or more. They seem to always cover the spread. But it's just tough betting against Belichick. And you got to take into consideration, well, a lot of those dogs had their starting quarterback, and now you got a third-string quarterback here for the Jets. So I would stay away from that game. That's a game I don't want to get involved with. I don't want to tie up my money in a game with so much uncertainty. The Cowboys, on the other hand, they look like they're going to win the NFC East. They're playing the Duck today. Then they go play the Saints next week without Drew Brees. They probably start out 4-0 on the season. And I do like the fact that Josh Rosen is playing, so I think it adds another dimension. I think the odds makers really don't know how to factor him into the point spread. I think he's better than what we saw that Miami had before. So I kind of like Miami plus the 21.5.
And they're starting Josh Rosen, giving him another chance.
As he just mentioned. Yep.
Exactly, yeah. They get Fitz magic. It did not work this year, unfortunately.
No, Fitz sucked last week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Philly Godfather, always appreciate your time. Thank you so much, sir.
Good luck, guys.
There he is, at Philly Godfather on Twitter. That's the man. Luigi's got some late fantasy locks, though, because I know people like fantasy.
Well, no,
because it's a reality in some places.
I've been giving locks out. People on Twitch have been asking if they go to twitch.tv/BrunoNation Live, they could always ask the questions there when we're going. And but the people they're giving some active and inactive advice right now because looks like James White is out for the Patriots, which is their pass-catching running back, Tony.
Yep.
So it looks like going to be a heavy dose of Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead out there for your Patriots. So if you have Rex Burkhead, feel safe to deploy him with James White out today.
So there you have it. Another 2-hour pregame live. The crowd's starting to swell
Is it over
in here.
already?
40 seconds.
This is it. We just came in here and gave you major game, major action, major stats.
Well, give us your pick for today.
Seconds.
Major pain. I'm taking the Eagles. Eagles win and cover the 4 or 5. I think they win by at least a touchdown today. I'm going Eagles. And
20.
they win this game.
Close one, Tony. Heartbreaker here at the link. 27-24 Detroit.
15.
We'll find out. We'll see you tomorrow night. Landmark Americana for the Monday night countdown.
Fill the Landmark.
Let's get out there, baby.
8.
Want to thank Hunter
7.
and all the other great folks here.
5,
Nick and Miss
4,
Robin, have a
3,
great day. We'll see you
2,
tomorrow night.
1.
Eagles Game Day Countdown
Okay,
to
Hunter,
Kickoff
nice
Show
job.
with Tony
Good job,
Bruno, a
Thank you
Jacob
very
Media
much.
Sports
You like how I can
presentation.
take direction
pull
on the
that-
countdown?
Okay,
I mean, that's
folks.
professional grade there.
Hunter, you'll clip that Philly's biggest fan audio for me. I'll send you a graphic to drop it over, and then I'll send it to him. Thank you, brother.
All right, everybody on Twitch, we are still live for just a few more seconds while I finish all this up. But just to remind you that anybody that's listening, tomorrow is another double header on twitch.tv BrunoNation Live. We will be going live from 1 to 4 Eastern on Twitch only, and then we will be live again at the Landmark Americana in
From 6 to
Glassboro
8.
from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Anybody that is in the area, please feel free to stop by, say hi. It's a great place, great food, great
It's a
vibe.
day-night doubleheader, baby. Did you just move that camera away off of me now?
Is this camera on me?
Is this camera on me?
He did move it.
I want the camera right on me now, Nick.
And I want the crab count.
I want the crab count. I want it set, and I want it now.
Bye, everybody.
Double header
Kevin.
tomorrow. 2 shows, 1 admission.
Right.
It's now you don't have to pay a second admission to come back to Landmark. You know
I
what I'm
won't
saying?
be there, but you folks need to get out there because you got a chance to go to Lambeau and leap with the people out there in Green
Damn
Bay
right.
for free. All you got to do is get there, and we got the accommodations handled.
Exactly
Correct.
right.
Now, Play Action Reel, great show. Woke my son Colin up early to watch it. That's a good job out of you, Play Action Reel.
Eric's here. Where is he?
That's
there he is.
Hello, it's like right
Eric's,
there.
I didn't
The
even,
Uber
I'm look-
driver of the stars, right?
I was
here.
looking over there. I said, Eric's here. Where are you? I didn't even realize that was you holding the phone over here.
Everyone, enjoy your Sundays, enjoy your betting action, your fantasy action, enjoy your friends, your family, and most importantly, enjoy yourselves.
Let's go Eagles and let's go Don Earl.
And let's go home. I'm out of here. What's that? No.
All right. Arrivederci, folks. And we will see you tomorrow. Hold on. I'm going to try to play these credits now. Credits going. Hold on. So for those of you who are not familiar with Twitch, throughout the show, at the end of the show, we can play credits, and you will get to see all of the different things that You did today, so, whoops, there they are. So again, thank you so much. Oh, you know what? I could even play a little goodbye music. I should do that. So the credits automatically include everybody that did anything on the show. And we thank you, thank you, thank you. See you tomorrow.
Smart Ideas pregame show on the Eagles Radio Network. Presented by PNC Bank. Make today the day.
Welcome to the Pico Smart Ideas pregame show live from Head House Plaza. We are an hour away from the Eagles against the Detroit Lions. Eagles, of course, 2-1. Lions, a win and a tie
it's not working.
in the first 2 games. Beautiful day at Lincoln Financial Field. It's going to be warm, but it's going to be nice weather. Big crowd coming in as the Eagles take them on. I'm Glenn Macnow, joined by Ike Reese, joined by Ross Tucker, Elliott Shore Parks, and Howard Eskin step in. Let's get their sense of it. Howard, I know you were inside watching everything. Kind of give us your 1-minute assessment of today.
Well, warm-ups were the same except for the players that you had questions about. Alshon didn't warm up at all. So that's why I knew at 10:30 that he wasn't going to play. And Goddard, despite I heard somebody from the press box, that's why we can't always listen to that, say, well, Goddard didn't look good. I saw him in a strength exercise with one of the coaches pushing off it. He looked fine. And I saw him on one route. He looked perfectly fine. And Doug Peterson saw that one route and then stopped looking, and he knew he was okay. So obviously he'll play. I don't know how many plays.